she comes.
Honestly,
if you want to sit here, Dad, you can sit here.
No, I think Sue likes you.
No, I said, I don't mind.
You're good there.
Yeah, they like you there.
Well, when he showers.
Only when I shower.
So I spoke to the guy from Unison. Denise is coming on at 10:30. He just wants me to give the update.
When is she coming on? Why 10:30?
She had to go take her children to daycare.
So I'll tease it and say, hey, we got an update coming up. Denise called in.
And we're up.
Like usual, there's more to the story, but
The staff did it.
Is there a good ending?
Well, and the other update is that, well, Pittsburgh Steelers, Dominic has a call-in.
What was the lady's name?
For the Steelers?
Yeah, who called in?
That was Ruby.
And Ruby called for her grandkid, who has cancer, right?
Right. And Ruby was told by someone in the Steeler family to send it. Didn't give her name, so she happened to find Dominic's name. Dominic has a call into Rothenberger.
Ralstonberger.
He's a quarterback.
Well, it's his foundation, right?
He has a call into his foundation to see what they can do because they're not in the office during the season.
And the season just ended.
What is today?
Steelers just ended. Tell me that he wants Antonio Brown. There's a big brouhaha between Rosenberger and Brown.
Why?
Because Brown didn't go to a couple practices last week and they benched him the last week. Even though they still were.
Why didn't he, though?
Because he's an asshole.
Now, why do you say that?
Why would you do that? He was complaining all the time because he wasn't getting enough catches.
Yeah.
You know, so.
Our Broncos should step up.
Oh,
the kid doesn't like him.
I mean, he's good. Antonio Brown's great. It's just that you don't give up on a team and stuff because they're...
Yeah, but his manager might have said it. Or his, you know what I mean.
No, he did.
No, you're missing it. It might have been a ploy, is what I'm saying, for more money. I guess that's what I'm saying.
Oh, no, he's going to get traded.
Well, okay.
They're going to trade him just because you can't have that cancer in the team.
I guess I don't understand what happened.
He didn't show up for the meetings or practice the final week, the final game.
Why?
I don't think he said.
Did he know he was getting traded?
No, he's not getting. He wasn't going to get traded.
Okay, now I get you.
But he's been complaining through the year, and they won the last game even without him, but they did not make the playoffs.
Okay, Frontier Excel Services.
15-year-old was showing his friends a handgun and it went off.
Oh, no.
And it killed his 17-year-old friend, and then he committed suicide because he killed his friend.
Oh, you're kidding. How did he kill himself? The gun, too?
Probably.
Oh, God, that is terrible. Oh.
So Jared's friend, Jared just happened to not be with this group that day. I don't know. He was sick or something.
Where was this?
I think it was Denver because it's iHeart.
Once again, it'd be nice if I get ready. Welcome to the show, the only show of its kind. We're here to solve problems, answer questions, take your complaints, try to make your life just a little bit better. We got some great updates coming up. As well as everything else, it's Thursday. It's a wonderful day. It's cold as hell out still. Maybe one of these days it'll warm up, but I think we have a ways to go. Phone number is simple. You've been ripped off, taken advantage of. 303-Martino. I can't make it any easier than that. Tom's been doing this, my goodness, 40 years. I think with the click of the new year, we can actually jump and say he's been in town for 40 years. I'll verify that when he gets back Monday, but I'm pretty sure it's been 40 years. 303-713-8255. But here's how the show works if you're new to it. And if you're old to it, turn somebody new to it onto it. That's a lot of to-its. But here's the deal. It doesn't matter if it's a doctor, an attorney, a contractor, a plumber, an HVAC guy. It can be anybody. It can be anybody that rips you off or if you have a question. But we go after them with the power of the media. It's simple as that. The power of the media is an incredible tool out there. Now, we're very honest. We're very straightforward. If there's an issue and we think it's actually the caller, I'll be the first to tell the caller. I will actually shut down a caller pretty quick, and we get them. We're dealing with one right now. Daphne, this one's incredible. I don't know what what's going to happen, what the outlook is. But the woman called up. We were going to get her a car. Literally, we were going to get her a car. We've had a car sitting that's hard to give away because it's a stick shift. And we have to find the right person that hasn't fallen off the cliff, that can afford insurance, has a driver's license, all these other things. So we thought we had one, but when you pulled a background check, Lord have mercy, what happened?
It was long.
It was long. What was some of the
scary.
stuff on it? We're not using her name yet, but what is some of the stuff on the background check?
I believe there was, now I'm totally drawing a blank.
Well, okay, then I'll go ahead and paraphrase. All kinds of crap. She'd been in trouble a lot, so when you confronted her with it, she said, oh, that's not me.
She said her identity had been stolen.
So we have reached out to where a lot of these issues have happened, which is Denver County. You've been talking to public relations over there, and we'll have an affirmative update shortly. But I'm kind of teasing it. But once again, we find it very hard to give away some items. It just happens that way. Let's talk about a good update, though. A really good one. Folks, you're going to love this update. This woman yesterday called, this poor thing. She's got a grandkid that's got cancer. Her name was Ruby. This kid's got cancer. She called up the Steelers organization, NFL team, and said, hey, my kid's got cancer, or, my grandkid's got cancer. If I send you this jersey, can I have some of the guys sign it? She sent in the jersey. And months have gone by, and now she can't contact anybody. Basically, she either fell through the cracks or whatever. I heard you personally dial, I would say, what, five or six, without exaggeration, phone lines to get through to someone finally. So give me an update on this. What's going on with this poor kid that has cancer, the grandmother buys the jersey, and no one signed it yet?
So someone in the organization told her to mail this jersey and they would see what they could do. And then she hung up. So she didn't have a name. She found a name, Dominic, and sent it to him. Well, Dominic actually happened to be the media relations person. So
you got through to Dominic.
So I finally got through to Dominic.
And he's going to Ben Roethlisberger's organization.
He's already got a call into them.
And they're going to find it. They're going to get the signatures and get it back.
They're going to, they're working on it, and very, very nice. And the one thing he did say was, don't just send jerseys. Every single person in the organization gets hundreds of them.
Yeah, they don't know what to do.
Oh, they get lost.
But someone told her to send it.
Somebody did.
So, but anyhow, it's solved, which is great. And then we'll get a picture of this kid when the jersey finally shows up signed.
Yes.
Now, the other thing is, at 10:30, boy, we've got a lot of updates today. Once again, this one's a little, I'll tease it a little, but here's the deal. Woman calls in yesterday, gave $230 to an apartment complex. Months later, still no word. She's going to be homeless soon because her other lease is up. What was the apartment complex name she gave the money to?
Creekside Apartments.
So Creekside. So Daphne reached out there, and we're going to get her on the air, and we're going to talk about it. But she left some stuff out. I'm going to leave it at that for right now. She left some information out, but I won't even tease anymore. All right, 303-713-8255. I cannot believe there's another Denver Post problem up. I'm going to go to Mark first. So, Mark, what's going on with Frontier Airlines? I fly them all the time. They're about as cheap as you get. It's basically a Greyhound bus with wings.
Absolutely. We jumped on a chance to get a round-trip airfare to Calgary, where my son lives, and we bought the tickets on September 11th of this year. And we were heading out Thanksgiving Day. So we get to the airport on Thanksgiving Day and go up to the counter, and the lady says, oh, your flight has been canceled. It was canceled September 12th.
Did you not? How did you book it? Did you book it online and use an email address? Did you not get the cancellation?
directly through Frontier, got no notice from them whatsoever. I've been a frequent flyer with them since 2001.
Mark, hold on a second, though. What I'm asking, though, is did you actually book it online where you put in an email address and get it? I use them so often. I mean, the second I book online, I get the confirmation. Then a couple days before, I get emails saying, hey, you can check in within 24 hours. And prior to that, I generally get them if we didn't get a bag. Hey, you should get a bag now because it's more expensive at the airport.
We bought a bag. Also, I did get a confirmation number, and we assumed that the flight was a go. And, we get to the airport, and the lady says, well, your flight was canceled, 2 or 3 months ago. And I said, first of all, why wasn't I notified? And she says, well, we sent an email, but it didn't get through.
Well, what does she mean by that? It bounced back? The wrong email address?
She says it failed. That's all she said. I wrote that down.
Well, unfortunately, Mark, here's the bad part. They did refund the money, though, 100%, right?
In December.
Did they offer you anything?
No, I had to beg them to try to get airfare, and they started with $50 and then gave me $100 airfare.
So you got a voucher for $100, just one voucher for $100?
2 vouchers, one for my wife and one for me. So
they're not gonna do anything else. That's what we could have reached out and probably got you was a $100 voucher. What did you end up doing though? I'm curious. Did you just not go?
Well, we were sitting in the airport and we were packed. And I turned to my wife, and my wife was really upset because it was her birthday the next day.
Yeah.
And I haven't seen her son in a year. We jumped in the car and drove.
Oh.
Right from the airport.
Wow. How long of a drive is Calgary from DIA?
About 17, 18 hours. We got to Helena, Montana that night, and then we pulled into Calgary the next morning just as the snow started to fall.
Yeah. I don't know why the reservation didn't go through. In other words, I don't know why you didn't get an email, but I will say this about airlines in general, especially these cheap ones. The worst one, believe it or not, in my opinion, is not Frontier. And I'll be straight up. I fly Frontier all the time, and I'll tell you why. We went to Fort Worth probably a month ago. Round trip for 2 of us was $180. That's $90. It's dirt cheap. Las Vegas is like, hell, there's times the baggage, listen to this, the stupid bag costs more than the seat. You're better off buying a seat for your bag if they would let you do it. But the worst out there is Spirit. You realize Spirit Airlines actually has a different size, not a carry-on that you put overhead, but a personal item, they call it. Theirs is actually smaller than any other airline. So if you bought one that fits under your seat, that fits perfectly, they make you actually check that bag or they make you pay as a carry-on. But, Mark, the best, I'm just not going to pretend any other way. I don't know why you didn't get the email. It sucks, but you're dealing with a discount carrier.
Well, what bothered me the most was there was 3 different ways they could have contacted me, and saying that they sent an email and then knew it didn't go through, that's all their responsibility.
Well, the fact they said that bothers me too, but I mean, they did give you the voucher. I know that doesn't make up for everything.
There's another story to go with. So I called them back once I got back from my trip.
Yes.
And I got a person on, I said, I'd like to talk to them. I talked to them. I said, definitely can't make a difference. Let me talk to your supervisor. So they give me the next person and bounce around a little bit. He says, well, my manager will call you back. Give me your number. Never got called back by the manager.
Yeah. Well, I'm telling you, man, it's a discount carrier. Honestly, I just don't think they care. I think Tom was on Frontier. I hope it wasn't Southwest, but I think it was Frontier. The guy's smoking behind him one of those vape pens. Was it, who was it?
He said it was Frontier, and he said it was marijuana they were smoking.
I know. He said right there with one of those vape pens smoking dope, and the woman wouldn't do anything about it. I mean, what do you make? Here's a problem. The airlines in general have changed so much. Daphne, back when you were a flying receptionist, a stewardess, whatever they call it.
Flight attendant.
This is way before my time. Not when you worked there, but, I remember, like, my grandparents, if they were flying out when I was a little kid, I'd hear them talk about, back in the day, we dress up to get on a plane. And,
people did, even when I was a flight attendant.
And you got meals, and you didn't pay for carry-ons, and all this stuff was included.
Chateaubriand in first class.
Well,
carved it.
Good for you.
Yeah, with a really sharp knife.
Frontier for $1.50. They'll give you the smallest bag of nuts you can imagine is about where it's at now. So it's just changed. These carriers, They're dirt cheap. That's what people want. They're not stupid. These companies aren't stupid. They know people want cheap airfare. People want to fly for cheap. They don't care. Sometimes they need a bag, sometimes they don't, but this is the kind of issues you're going to have. And Mark, by the way, if you look at the agreement you had when you booked it, all they owed you was a refund. They didn't even owe you the voucher. So anybody out there booking, they can cancel trips. It's simple as that. They can do it. They can absolutely do it. It doesn't matter what airline it is. It just simply doesn't matter.
Did you see the picture of the guy getting on the plane in ski boots? So he didn't have to pay.
So he didn't have to pay.
So he didn't have to
See,
pay.
and I wouldn't let him in because I wouldn't want to sit next to that guy. There was one time we were on, it's called Champion Air. Suzanne and I were coming back from Nevada. This is years and years ago. They overbooked a plane. On these junkets, that's pretty normal. It was so overbooked, there's literally 2 seats left on the plane, and we were the lucky last 2 to get on. One seat was next to a 500-pound man. The other seat was way in the back.
Guess which one I took, Mark?
Yeah, she took the one way in the back. Now, granted, the guy, he had to actually take the extension, Dan, that they show and on the safety thing, how to click the seatbelt and use that. I kid you not.
How
he
was
was
that
a
again?
great guy. Like this, like clicking it. All right, 303-713-8255. Paul, Mark, Russell, Hetty, everybody hold tight. SimplyFloorsInc.com, simply the best flooring company out there. Hardwood laminates, you know, the new waterproof laminates, the LVT, luxury vinyl tile, carpeting of all types. We bought our carpeting from Simply Floors probably 3 years ago when we first moved into our house. It has been the best carpeting I have ever seen. They call it life-proof, and the reason they call it life-proof is it's actually nothing seeps through to the padding. So if anything happens, you spill something, you got pets, it doesn't matter. Nothing seeps into that padding, so you don't get that wicking when you clean it. It cleans up. It's got one of the best warranties out there, but it doesn't matter. Ceramic tile, luxury vinyl tile, hardwoods, these guys do it all, and they make it simple. They'll come to your house and show you whatever, or you can go to their showroom. But make it simple. Go to SimplyFloorsInc.com, SimplyFloorsInc.com. All right, you can get rid of one.
60, I thought it was
61
Saturday.
tomorrow.
Wow.
61 degrees tomorrow?
Yeah.
Man,
and
that'll
then
be
in
nice.
the 50s. Like,
It was so
all
freaking
day.
cold this morning, I was dying.
It's frigid. He never complains.
I didn't even wear a coat today.
Oh, I was frozen.
Hey, take your cup off when you go back.
Oh, he got him.
Oh, D-cup.
Decup.
Oh, babe, on the Denver Post, we got a new Denver Post issue. Oh, wait. The second one is Russell. So he's the one who called yesterday on line 3.
Did we?
I reached out to Denver Post. He said, getting this right over to our resolution team. Called them this morning. They said, well, we haven't heard anything. So I emailed my guy back. They haven't heard a thing, nor did they get their paper this morning, okay? And so all of a sudden, I called Russell for the show. He says, well, I just heard from them. The guy says he insisted he delivered my paper this morning, but he didn't. And then I get an email from Bernie saying, look, the guy's saying he's delivered the paper, but regardless, we'll make sure he's settled.
I wonder if someone's stealing his paper.
Or the neighbor is getting it. I wonder if they're throwing it on the wrong.
Is it a house or is it a... I'll ask
It's a
him.
cul-de-sac. But
Ah.
Hetty on line 2 is a new Denver Post problem. So I'll wait till you bring those up to send Bernie the new issue.
It really is amazing.
It is amazing. When you asked me what was on her rap sheet, I totally drew a blank. I still am blank. I'm like, what is on that
There's that
sheet?
much stuff on
Oh
there?
my gosh, yeah. Racketeering.
Oh,
Uh,
what is racketeering?
Racketeering, they basically came up with because of
mob.
the mafia.
But what is it? What do you have to do to
Laundering money.
Well, that's laundering money. Racketeering is basically, I don't know, man, anything. Yeah, you know what? I don't know. It's it's like gambling or stealing and selling shit. I don't know. Look it up.
Not
Look it up
being
real quick.
a good guy.
That's why they have an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau. I'm here with Gabby from American Financing. Tell us more.
That's right, John.
Racketeering.
Customer service and do what it takes to help.
Dishonest and fraudulent business dealings.
Okay, well, there you go.
Founder of American
That's why it was hard to define. I guess it's everything.
Wow, it is.
It literally covers every gamut.
Being bad.
What is racketeering? Bad.
That's not good.
Up to $12,000 a year. What are you waiting for? Give American Financing a call today.
Call 303-695.
Yeah, it's kind of like a catch-all phrase.
What do you mean?
Well, like I say, I mean, look at
American Financing.
dishonest and fraudulent business dealings. I mean,
That poor guy, he got a voucher. He got 2 vouchers.
He was
Like,
so lucky, better than a kick in the shins.
they're so cheap, man.
yeah, but they canceled the flight the next day.
Yeah, but
You
he
gotta
needs,
take.
the one thing I was going to say is he needs to check and make sure all of his information is correct.
I always check in the night before. I don't care.
Oh,
I
of course.
agree.
Then you know.
But I usually check in. If you did 2 months ahead of time, I would check in.
I would have, you know what, if you buy a ticket that far in advance, you need to check on it.
Mark, Suzanne's looking for you.
Evaluation only $50 to get a complete workup, and then the adjustments are only $50. And if you get a package of just
But you got to take some responsibility on yourself.
Yeah, you do. How come when we talk mom in there to talk in here, it's always down? So like when I try to talk to you, the volume is down in here. If you don't have your headphones on, we can't talk to you in there.
Oh.
But there is a way to talk here.
To everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's always, the volume's down so we can't
Oh,
get
is that
attention,
why?
which is why she's like, hey.
Oh, okay. I didn't know they could adjust that.
Mm-hmm. So there's Talk Mon, which is the talking in the studio, and then there's 1 and 2 to talk into the ears.
I like it when it's right here and stuff because you can at least talk. Tom keeps it pretty loud.
Come on, there it goes.
Eyes are watering. I must have an allergy this time of year. I was sneezing so much last night. My eyes are puffy. My nose
Well, you're sounding much better. You're not
I
coughing.
feel better, but my eyes are just watering.
All right. 303-713-8255. By the way, Plumbline Services, listen to this. Find fixture-free electrical. I just find this the most amazing thing. If you have any electrical problem in your house, Plumbline Services will send out a licensed electrician, of course insured and bonded, all the good stuff, but they'll come out, they'll diagnose and fix the problem for a total of $150. If they can't do it for $150, worst scenario, you're going to get a free estimate how much it will cost to fix. And that's it. You're not going to pay a trip charge, a diagnostic charge, or anything. If you've had an electrical problem that hasn't been solved, I don't care if it's a ceiling fan, a light switch, an outlet, it doesn't matter what it is, $150 find, fix, or it's free. Plumbline Services, by the way, plumbing, heating, cooling, electric drains. You might write this down when we get the next cold snap and you need something done to your furnace, but it's 303-586-1086. The reason they do that fine fixer free this time of year is because their HVAC stuff, of course, is busy. The electricians are sitting around, so they try to get these guys out so you know, they don't have to lay them off. That's the bottom line. You're not going to get a better deal on an electrician. 303-586-1086. I love good deals. Don't forget, you can also find Plumbline Services on referralist.com. So let me think here. Russell, you called yesterday. You had an issue getting the Denver Post, and we reached out, and what is happening? You're calling back. Unfortunately, we have another issue with the Denver Post, but did yours get solved?
No, it did not.
It did not. Suzanne, give me a little update here.
Well,
so as of this morning, Russell hadn't heard anything. I re-emailed my contact, Mark, and I was going to read, it's a little bit long-winded, but he just said that the home delivery manager reached out to Russell and said that they have been delivering the paper.
Russell, they're saying they're delivering it. What do you think here, man? Did they reach out to you? Have you talked to anybody at the Post in the last 24 hours since you talked to us?
At 9:45 this morning,
you did.
The phone rang.
Okay.
The caller ID identified it as a Nancy somebody or other.
Okay, but was it the Denver Post?
It was a male voice.
Okay.
And he said that he had delivered the paper today.
Okay, was it out there, or you're saying it wasn't there?
It wasn't there.
Do you think you could?
I told him that it wasn't there.
Do you think you could have a neighbor that's snatching that paper, man?
I don't think so.
But, Mark, in the end of the email, it says, our home delivery manager promised the subscriber during the recent phone call the newspaper would be delivered and on the porch tomorrow morning, and a recovery newspaper would be dispatched today.
So he should get a newspaper today?
Hopefully we have him resolved.
Russell, let us know tomorrow. I mean, I find this absurd how hard this is to get a paper. I really do. I just wonder if someone's stealing his paper.
Well,
let us know tomorrow. Either way, you don't have to call on air. You can email us. You can do whatever you want. And as far as the caller ID, I just want to tell you this. It really doesn't matter because people switch numbers all the time, man. I mean, I have one good friend, Mikey. His number still comes up as some guy that lived in the house like 20 years ago, man. I mean, it's just crazy. So don't worry about that. I'm sure that was the Denver Post. But let us know if you get that newspaper, all right, Russell? And then if you don't get it again, you know what? Call us again.
Okay.
All right, man. You have a good day, sir.
Thank you.
You're welcome. We'll go to the other Denver Post problem in a second, but I always get one lady, and I think she's in Boulder, emailing me when I go off on the Post. Don't make fun of old people. Some people like reading the newspaper. Well, you know what? I'm really not making fun of old people. I'm making fun of the Denver Post. I can't believe their subscriptions are so far down, and they find it so hard to deliver the paper. It's amazing to me. Now, would I order the newspaper? No. Not when you can basically go online and get it anywhere. Although, when I'm in a hotel and they have complimentary, what is it generally? It's not the local.
USA Today.
USA Today. I do like reading USA Today. But as far as the Denver Post, I just can't believe it.
Which is the People magazine of newspapers.
What is that?
USA Today.
Yeah, well, I don't know. 303-713-8255. 303 Martino. Might as well do it. I hate to hit him twice, but Hetty, what's going on with your Denver Post problem while we're on it?
Hi, Mark. We haven't been getting it either, and I called yesterday and talked to someone in the customer relations, and she said she would have a manager call me, but of course I'm not heard anything.
You know, that's the same thing the other guy said.
10 times, and we had a really good paper deliverer. He put it right in front of the garage, and we never had an issue.
How long did that last?
Oh, it's been a long time. This is the first time we've ever had an issue like this.
And now you can't even get them. I wonder if they're, like, closing up shop over there. I would if I owned a newspaper. My God, I mean, I don't even think they've got... Do they charge online, Hetty? Do you know?
Pardon?
Do they charge online?
I don't know.
I know some newspapers do. I don't know if the Denver Post does or doesn't, but, man, they're a dinosaur. They got to fix something. If they're going to continue what they're doing, they got to at least hire new delivery people. I mean, I could sit here and do a show on the Denver Post because we get these calls. I don't know why I get berated with these calls, but it seems like I do.
Well, I'm the little old lady that had problems with her sink. Do you remember? It sunk, and we couldn't get it back.
What sank? Your sink sunk?
In the kitchen. Remember? You and Mark want to come to my house and fix it. I never saw you, but that's okay.
My Lord, I have no idea what she's talking about. Hetty?
Yes.
When was this? Now you've got me curious.
Oh, well, I had a sink that was coming apart from the granite, and you said there must be a way to attach it some way in the bottom of it. And you said, we'll come out and fix it, but I never saw you. We did get the granite fella to finally repair it. So
you got it fixed, though?
Oh, yeah, I got it fixed, Mark.
Gee, I mean, Dan, is this ringing any bell? I would never, first of all, say I'd come out and fix a sink. I might come out and look at it and then go after the granite guy. But, my God, you don't want me fixing your sink, I assure you.
Well, Tom said that he asked me how old I was.
Yeah.
I told him, and he said, oh, you're just a little old lady.
How old are you?
77.
Oh, okay. Well, that's not too old.
Right. That's why we're still getting the Denver Post, I guess.
Why don't you read online real quick? Then I got to go, Hetty, but why?
There are other parts of the Denver Post that they don't always have on the...
Like what?
Well, there's certain articles. I don't know.
How about, Mark, she doesn't have to sit around and listen to the commercials for news. She can read her article and move on to the next.
Jeez, when she gets the paper. Hetty, hold on. We're going to get your info. Suzanne will email to the same people. I mean, we'll get it figured out. It's just an amazing thing. It truly is. Paul, what's going on with you in the Social Security number?
Yeah, I made a stupid thing. I called my insurance company for my dental, and the prompts came up, and I said, your ID number and is usually your Social Security, or and I didn't know exactly. So just automatically I punched in my
Social
Security.
All right, hold on a second. Hold on a second. Let's talk about that after the break. 303-713-8255. Suzanne, clear up 2 and 3. Alice has a big problem. Son got a DWAI. We're trying to get Joe Lazaro for that. Take a quick break.
It's part of our subscription. We only get it on the weekends. And
you want
you do have to pay.
Well, where are you getting the info? You?
We get to do the jumble, got the crossword puzzle.
I do the Sudoku.
You like that?
Yeah.
Are you good at it?
I am.
Can you do the Saturday
I put a lot of expired ones up when I went through them.
Sometimes I get stuck and I can't, or I'll mess, I'll get all the way in.
You're good.
Well, no, change of that. Just,
Rick likes it because it has.
Yeah, I know, but you're saying a ton like every one. I just have a hard time. I know there's probably 20 or 30 of them.
He really likes that, and.
Well, you can do that. That one on Saturday is a tough one.
Yeah, they're both evil. They're both.
You're right.
They're both
Sunday
evil. Actually, Sunday can be tougher sometimes.
See how you do it, how you get by.
Do you know what's nice about it is you're not sitting in front of a computer.
Yes, I hate it.
It's like reading it's like reading a hardback book instead of reading on your computer.
What are you talking about?
The newspaper.
Yeah.
You're in front of a computer all the time, and it's nice to have something else that's not.
I so disagree, but whatever. I mean, that's fine.
Everybody,
You know what? I don't like these new fucking contraptions that have tires and wheels and an engine. I prefer the buggy.
Or the horse. I prefer just
the fucking horse was the best, even prior to the buggy. I don't like wheels. I like squares.
Me enough because I read. I
have
my iPad in front of me,
but
I'm like, I'm reading a book. I'm not always on Facebook. I'm not always on, those. I'm like.
Suzanne reads both hardback and.
I do too. I have.
Plus, when you got to start a fire in the fireplace, it's hard to put the computer in there.
If you don't have a newspaper,
do you remember how newspapers used to really help when you were washing windows or wiping mirrors?
I've heard that.
The bums.
I've never used it. Yes. The bums get it so they can...
Is that her still on one? It was gone for a minute.
Yeah, the newspaper, what the bums can use for a rag.
There you go.
Approved, not pre-qualified, approved. All you need is the appraisal. 303-867-7000.
How many games did we play yesterday?
5.
I was nowhere near as worn out as I was a week ago.
Really?
Yep.
I was sore. My shoulder's still sore.
You need to get Denise. Did I give her the right number?
I don't like newspapers. Plus all the trash. Now, when I was younger, I liked the stupid Sunday paper with all the cartoons and even the coupons.
Yeah.
Right. And I used to get the weekends and stuff. You can't keep up with it. If you get it daily and stuff, that's a lot of reading. And you're right, it just ends up being
just hitting them with the snow thrower is the worst thing in the world. Oh my God, I hate it.
Because I got a shovel. It's no big deal.
You'd be shoveling a long time at my house.
I'll bet you they're just sending it to the wrong address. My neighbor doesn't want to say it because he gets the paper every day.
You've heard me emphasizing addiction treatment if you're facing addiction. The message that I want to get out about the Raleigh House is not go sign
Well, this is a long break here.
That's a bunch of bull because there are a lot of you listening where the Raleigh House may not be at the post for you. There might be another one. And here's the deal. If you call the Raleigh House, they'll tell you. They will tell you what's out there, what modalities are used to help treat addiction, and they'll let you know what they use.
House Speaker coming up. Nancy. Look.
Yeah.
So
they're electing her. Huh?
They sent your vote in.
No, I don't think they elect them until like later on in January.
Well, these are the nominations. If there's only one nomination, I assure you that one person will go through.
What's this twirly thing they have here?
Here's what would be funny if they made it 60%.
Oh.
Just like they do on judges.
Right.
Then they'd have to do the nuclear option, which they couldn't do. Wouldn't that be funny as hell?
There's a lot of people. Nancy's going to do whatever the far left tells her to do. Otherwise, she's going to get.
I don't think she's.
She's going to get kicked out then.
I don't think she's that far left.
No, she's not. Well, but I'm saying she's got to do it just to keep her base. She thinks anyway.
Are you sick and tired of that noisy garage door opener? Maybe you need a new garage door. Call One Clear Choice Doors. They're at oneclearchoicedoors.com, but you can get a brand new LiftMaster 8355. It's got the MyQ technology. It's got the battery backup option, the time to close feature. You can add an internet gateway. $333 installed. You got to mention the Troubleshooter Show or Tom Martino. $333. But if you need a door, they can also come out and do a tune-up on your door. These guys are the best. One Clear Choice Garage Doors. OneClearChoiceDoors.com. The phone number is 303-565-6409. Alice, what's going on with you?
Yes, my son got a DWAI, and there's 3 years that he needs to have the breathalyzer and, of course, car insurance and other things he has to do. But he just lost his job, and I can't afford right now to pay for everything for him. And I'm wondering, do the 3 years still complete, or do you have to start where you left off? Do you have to be actively driving in that 3-year period?
Wow, that's a great question. We got an expert I'm going to bring up to do it. Let me ask you a few more things before I bring up Joseph Lazara. So he had to have the breathalyzer. I'm just going to bring up Joe. Hold on a second. Hey, Joe. Joe, it's a straightforward question, but does the 3 years, it looks like he got convicted. He got 3 years probation where you have to have, what is that called, the thing you blow in the car?
The interlock. A breathalyzer?
The interlock. So interlock, and then you have to have, what, an SR22 for the same amount of time?
Correct. Right.
So what happens, how old is your son, Alice?
He'll be 22 next month.
Okay. God, if you said 35 or 40, I was going to question why you're paying for anything, but I get it. So she can't afford to pay this anymore. He lost his job. So if he doesn't have a job, doesn't have insurance, doesn't have the interlock, Joe, for, say, 6 months, does he just pick right back up? How does that? Is he breaking probation? What happens?
Well, the interlock's required because of DMV purposes. So the courts have the ability to require an interlock, but very seldom do they. It's usually through the DMV express consent. So I'm assuming he refused the chemical test, which would be a 2-year interlock requirement. I'm not sure how he's getting to the 3-year interlock requirement.
Alice, do you know if that happened?
I really don't know.
Did he take a breathalyzer the night he got pulled over? Do you know if he refused to take it?
I do not know that.
Okay, fair enough.
He wasn't driving at the time.
So
they
Joe
asked for his ID, and he walked back to the car to get it, and so they assume he had been driving.
Okay, so wow, that happens a lot, actually, doesn't it, Joe? Where they actually get you outside of the vehicle, but they have an assumption that you were driving.
Yeah, happens all the time, which is scary, and that's why you need a lawyer.
Yeah, no kidding.
With regards to the interlock, basically, if it's a refusal, and I would love to chat with him off air to get all the nitty gritty, but if it's a refusal, it's typically a 1-year revocation for a first offense, 2 months no driving, 2 years on the interlock. There is a provision within the state law that allows first-time offenders are struggling financially to get some financial assistance.
But hold on that 2 years, though, if for whatever reason, no financial assistance, mommy's not going to pay for it, if he doesn't do it for a year or two, what I'm trying to figure out is he actually breaking probation, or does he just simply go to the courts and say, hey, I can't afford it, and then he picks it up at a later time? Or are you saying there really is no definitive answer?
So put DMV in all likelihood. So DMV is going to simply say, because he no longer carries either the SR22 or no longer carries the interlock, that his license becomes revoked at that point in time. And then when he goes to reinstate, it's a question. Usually he can pick up where he left off.
Got it.
But I have seen cases where they mandate at least a year or up to that 2 years again.
If you look at, if she gives you the case number or you talk to her son, of course, off air, you'll be able to give him a better idea.
Oh, yeah. Once I know all the facts, I can probably figure it out in 10 minutes.
All right, very cool. So, Alice, can you get the case number and have your son reach out to Lizera?
Certainly. I appreciate it. It is a very complicated situation, isn't it?
Why is it so complicated? I mean, these DUIs happen every day.
I was hoping if he can't afford to drive, if he's unemployed, then I was thinking that maybe he could just pass the time, ride a bike or walk or whatever, and the 3 years would pass.
And he may be, and Joe, he may be able to, right?
Right. Yeah, you can do a non-owner, non-operator.
That can happen, Alice. So but he's going to look that up for you and look into the particulars of your son's case.
Wonderful, wonderful. I guess I'll get his number after.
Well, I'll give it to you. I'm going to give it out right now. Hold on a second, and then I also want to ask Joe about something. Joe, how often, we just talked about this, but how often are you allowed to sleep in your car with the keys in it? Let's just go to there. So the cop shows up. He thinks you've been drinking. You weren't actually driving. You know, the keys are right next to you. I mean, what typically happens? Because really, it's pretty amazing. Alice is saying he went to get his license in the car, and that's when they popped him.
Right. So driving in Colorado is defined as actual physical control, which is a factor test. So they look at, is the engine running? Are the keys in the ignition? Can the vehicle be placed in motion with minimal effort? Are the lights on, radio on? All those different factors determine whether or not someone's driving. But clearly, if the keys are in the ignition, that's driving. So if the keys are on your lap or on the passenger seat, it's a little bit different.
And I bet if they don't have an attorney going in other words, if they don't call you or a good criminal attorney, I bet the bottom line is they're going to get a DUI or a DWAI or whatever no matter what, where an attorney would go in and argue, hey, they were never driving, prove he was driving, or better yet, prove he was in control of that car.
Absolutely. I had a guy who was sitting in his vehicle listening to the radio in his driveway. He got popped with a DUI.
His own driveway?
His own driveway.
And did he hire you, and I assume he got off?
We did, yep.
See, that's incredible. Anybody out there, any criminal aspects, if you've been accused of a crime, whether you did it or not, you need good representation. Joe, I appreciate it, and you can get Joe at 303-429-6200. Hey, thanks for coming on, Joe.
You bet, thank you.
303-429-6200. I love our referral list members. John, real quick, says he has an answer on that interlock question. John, what happened with you?
Yeah, so, like Joe said, you can just go ahead and not drive if you want, but, like, I have a lease. You have to get a lease when you get the interlock, and that's through the end date of your DUI or however long you're supposed to have it. And so I lost my job. I was broke. My tags expired. I couldn't afford my interlock, so it sat for, like, 3 months. And I called them up, and they said that I was like, am I going to pay a lockout fee or anything? And they're like, no, you actually have to pay for all 3 months, even though you weren't driving. So even though I was sitting there,
you still got to pay them. But you had their unit, right?
Yeah, I had the unit, but I hadn't been able to drive I hadn't driven my car at all or started it in 3 months because everything expired. But
I got you.
Yeah,
that can really change your life, can't it? I mean, we talk about this a lot. John, did you get an attorney when you got your DUI?
Yes, actually, I did. I got Joe Lizera.
How did he do for you?
I'm not going to badmouth him on air, but I think I think it could have gone better. But it's to each their own. To each their own.
God, I get so many good emails about him. I mean, really, one after another. He actually represented a guy that shot a cop at one point, and of course the guy got time, but it was a lot better than what I would have thought. But what was your circumstance? What happened? Did you get if you don't mind sharing?
I got it in action. I was coming home. I only had a couple beers. I was barely over the limit. But this lady turned on the highway and forced me to T-bone her. It was her fault. She said it was her fault. The police said it was her fault. And then they took my blood in the ambulance because I was the only one injured. And walked out, and they're like, "Here's the DUI."
Oh man.
And I hired Joe, and I was out of a different county and everything. And long story short, I guess the judge wasn't impressed and said, "Quote, you know, a celebrity attorney isn't going to help your case," and threw the book at me.
Oh my goodness. Was it your first?
No, it was my second. So, I mean, I deserved it.
I got you, but you okay. I get it, man. Hey, thanks for sharing that. I do appreciate it. Have a good day, John. 303-713-8255. We do have a line open. 303 Martino. Bill's got a shout-out to one of the referral list members. Then we're going to do that update with Creekside Apartments. Denise called in yesterday, and Denise said, hey, I gave these people $230 over 2 months ago, and I haven't heard. My other lease is about to expire. I'm going to be homeless. We'll see what happens after this. Is she getting Bonnie?
That DUI stuff is so...
Oh, my kids. Oh, he brought his car up. That's right.
Oh, really? Your kid?
Just so Mike cleans it.
Oh, okay.
Attempts to clean that upholstery.
Yeah, it's gonna be chilly out too.
Yeah, we told him to bring a towel. You're right.
That crash involving a semi and a fuel spill. Now there's a possible crash on the eastbound side of I-270 on the approach to Brighton. Watch out for solid backups there.
There he is. He got a haircut finally too.
Did your son?
Yeah.
Now fair and 39 with traffic and weather.
Yes, he did. Well, it's getting pretty bushy.
When's the last time you saw him? Oh, a couple weeks ago.
You're right. When he stopped in here with his girlfriend.
Oh yeah. He is extremely smitten.
My son too.
Oh.
Too smitten. Too smitten.
I know what you mean by that.
Doesn't do anything. And,
Hand me a water, dude. Do you like her? Have you met her?
Yeah.
What's her
she's
name?
Good. Lauren?
Is she in school up there?
Yep.
That's good.
They're both in school. So. How's your son liking that college?
It's good, man. He just finished another section. It just keeps going on and on.
So he didn't like school before, but he likes this because it has actual...
Totally different
for the
learning.
job.
Totally different learning. Plus, he's working full-time.
Right.
And it's actually, the degrees are stuff that he's doing.
Right.
I mean, supply chain,
exactly.
management.
Right. So he can see that it's actually something that can be used down the road. If, no, I agree. I think if they did more learning like that in college, if they taught like that in college or something that you actually are going to use, you can see you can use it. There's so much in college that, how am I going to use this?
Yeah, Jared said he would have totally done something different.
He would have?
Yeah.
What was his degree?
Well, he's got marketing, which is great. He actually has a marketing with advertising and entrepreneur minor and commercial and residential real estate.
But there's so much. I mean, even any employer you got to go to, they got to retrain you.
Yes, exactly.
I mean, you can't be. I don't care what you have. Maybe the nurse and stuff. Right?
Have we reached back out to Stars? Did we ever hear back from who was the owner?
Oh man! Remind me about that one.
What was the one we were arguing about?
Oh,
Friday.
No, the owner has not.
What was his name? Eduardo?
Martinez. Wasn't his last name Martinez?
No. I gotta find it. No, it's here. Oh.
You want to put them up again?
No,
I still got those pictures on here.
You know what? It's on a piece of paper downstairs.
What the hell was his name, though?
It was, I think it was...
I thought it was Eduardo, but I don't remember.
No.
Where did you find it?
I think the owner was, he was the owner, but the guy that came on.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I should have followed up on that.
Was it Jose or?
Yeah, it must be on a piece of paper downstairs. When I go to get Bonnie, I'll go pick it up.
What's that?
Wasn't the owner Eduardo or something like that?
That's who I care about, is the owner.
Yeah.
But the guy,
Eduardo, wasn't it Lopez? Something like that. It was a...
and that was the owner, not the guy that came on.
No, the guy I was speaking to, that's the only thing I have here is Ray.
I think the okie doke on that was it didn't need to be replaced.
Scott's pretty happy about it. He sent an email. He's like, thank you.
Cam Solar!
It must be next.
Ask Alexa to play 630 KHOW on iHeartRadio. Then you can hear Chapless and Caper this afternoon at 4.
Getting 630 KHOW from iHeartRadio.
If Denver's talking about it, you'll hear it on 630.
Got another timeshare exit.
How about a solar company? Yes, a solar company that's been around for a decade. That's GoCam Solar. We set up a website. Check this out. You log into this website, and you're going to be able to see how much power your residence, or your business for that matter, can generate with solar. Is solar worth it? How much will you save a month? You simply go to gocamsolar.com/troubleshooter. gocamsolar.com/troubleshooter. It's 100% free. It either makes sense or not. It's simple. They do the math. They have this program, this bird's eye view of your property. It'll look down. They can figure out how many panels, how much energy, depending on the electric company, what kind of rebates, what kind of federal rebates. They will go over everything with you, and if it doesn't make sense, it doesn't make sense. If it does, they'll tell you how much you can save. They've been in business over a decade, over 3,000 systems installed. And when it comes to solar, that is very, very impressive. They're great guys. GoCamSolar.com/troubleshooter. But get them checked out. All right, 303-713-8255. Man, we've got all kinds of stuff going on. Let me do this shout-out real quick, Bill. What referral list member is it?
It's Fix-It 24/7.
So what happened?
And specifically, they came out on that $39 offer, and they honored it.
Oh, cool.
And the filter, I had to change the filter on the
furnace,
the heating system. Yeah.
Yeah.
And what happened was I got ripped off at Home Depot, and they threw the old one away. But the technician, George was his name, came out, and he went online and found that you can't just go into a Home Depot and get it. You have to go to the factory. So he drove all the way up north in Adams County somewhere.
And got it for you?
Yeah, he went and got it on his own time.
Wow.
Got the filter, brought it back. It was like an hour and a half later, so he was using up a lot of his own time on his buck.
And Bill, how much did they charge you for all of this?
And they charged me $39 on the visit, even though I misconstrued the
offer
furnace as being included. They did include it.
Wow.
And then he discounted the filter since it was a special order from the factory.
Very cool.
He discounted it 50%, installed it and everything. A real gentleman. I mean, and when they come out, you'll really be amazed with their van. They got artwork you wouldn't believe on it.
Well, that's the first one I've heard of that. Bill, we appreciate hearing any good things. I want to say this to everybody, though. Do me a favor. Go to referrallist.com, and if you use one of our members, please, absolutely please, they love it. We appreciate it. Do a review. It only takes a minute to sign in. Our reviews are real, too. And what I mean by that is, you know, unless you want to create a fake phone number and a fake email and a fake everything, they're real reviews by real people. And the vendors can follow up, and if there's a real big problem, I get involved. If I see a negative review come through, I am on the horn with that company and that reviewer very quickly. 303-713-8255. Hey, Darren, I'm going to get to that bed bug issue in a second. But this one, Denise, you called yesterday. You gave $320.
Denise, not Dennis, right? Good job, Mark.
Shush.
Woohoo, yay. Thank you.
Yeah, so anyhow, Denise, you called yesterday. You gave actually $230 to Creekside Apartments. You haven't heard back from them, and we got involved because when was your lease up on your current place?
January 1st.
Oh, my gosh. So basically, you're out of there, right?
Yes.
So you've been living in your car or with friends or something.
Yep, here, there with my 4- and 5-year-old grandbabies, yep.
Oh, my goodness. Well, I've got good news, but you did leave some stuff out. You didn't tell us you were also, one of the reasons it's taking so long was because of the subsidies you were trying to get. But regardless of that, Daphne, what's the good news?
Well, the good news is she will be in her apartment on Friday. Is
awesome.
that what they told you, Denise?
Yes, and they're going to let me move in with $500.
Compared to what? Was it supposed to be more?
It was, they first quoted me $11,800.
Generally take this long because of the subsidies she was looking for the qualifications. My understanding, Denise, was you had to go in numerous different times and bring them different things, and sometimes they couldn't get a hold of you.
Incorrect. It's vice versa. Everything that I went in there 5 times, and it was always something with the paperwork.
Yeah, the process is complex and cumbersome. There is a lot of paperwork.
You said it's not Section 8. What is it?
It's a 60% tax credit. And so it's
Is it a federal plan, Denise?
No, I'm on straight income employment. I'm not asking for any low income. I'm not.
I see what you're saying, but you still get a discounted rate, and you had to provide a bunch of information. I mean, it's no big deal.
And
it's good you got a place.
Right, this complex is under the Housing Authority, and so there is a lot of paperwork. There are questions that are asked on different pages.
I get it.
And if they don't match, she has to go back in and fill the paperwork out again. And so, yeah, all the I's have to be dotted, all the T's crossed.
Well, Denise, the good news is you're in this Friday.
Yes.
And actually, the better news is it's going to cost her a hell of a lot less.
It is. And, you know, they just had a misunderstanding.
They
thought they had
very apologetic.
Very apologetic.
Corporate did, yeah.
Yeah, and he said they are so happy that you're going to be part of their community.
Denise, follow up if you ever have any issues over there. We appreciate you listening, and why don't you give us a shout-out on Yelp? Look up Referral List or Troubleshooter and give us a good review. How's that?
I will, absolutely.
I'm going to look for it, 303-713-8255. We got a ton coming up, a bed bugs problem, a moving problem, a follow-up. We'll be back.
This was D-Nice.
D-Nice.
And extra health customers are saving about 80% on their health insurance.
Tell Daphne, would you tell Daphne I really want that owner's name? She'll know what I'm talking about.
From Stars.
Mark says he wants that owner's name from Stars Plumbing. Okay, who are you talking about, Bonnie? Bonnie, so she should be here. She said she's going to try to be here by 11. She had a doctor's appointment in Cherry Creek. Okay.
Oh,
so,
and don't let me forget I have to leave.
Phyllis is that moving problem from yesterday. Steve the painter went by the address, took a picture, sent it to me, and is also on line 6 or 7 there.
Can you send us that picture?
Yeah, I'll send
it to Dan so we'll put it
That's
on.
a good one.
Is that?
Yeah, but would you bring Steve the painter up for going out there for us?
Yes.
Okay.
Are you teasing us?
I'm going to email it to Dan at Troubleshooter.
Tell me what it is. I bet it's crazy, huh?
That takes away from.
Hey, was that dude out there working on the car? Was Mike out there?
Must be good. He's happy to get the Suzanne's car too, huh?
Yeah.
Actually, there's a lot of. Yeah. But that little car wasn't bad that he had, right? I mean, it drove good and everything.
Oh, it's a great car. We were driving it just last week, man. I forgot how peppy that little thing is. Still got 20,000 miles left on the warranty.
Well, not only that, it's got a new engine.
It's got a brand new engine, that's right. Probably less than 4,000 on
So when you
that.
put all that on there, I mean, you could put that in there. I think that would look good, wouldn't it?
I think so, hell yeah.
Because you had 40.
I'll just say brand new recalled engine. See, that's weird. Yes, it would be good. I just got to figure out how to phrase it.
Right. Because I would look at it and say, wow.
Have new engine, have engine with less than 3,000 miles due to Hyundai recall, something like that. But I don't want people to think, oh, it can happen again.
Exactly.
I still never really read in why they had all those 2.4 issues. I don't know why.
I don't know why that thing went so quickly. Here he goes.
Dude, his was really weird because he drove it to work, it was fine. He turns it off, it seizes, never turns off again. Something broke, like the lower. I don't know, man. I don't know.
I think that was where it's.
And I don't know, I don't know what happened. usually it would seize up while you're driving or when you start it up, but not after you park it. Isn't it the damnedest thing?
I agree. Do you want to know what
Unless something got heated up so much.
Ooh, I gotta.
Is that the picture?
Yeah, just a fucking car. I'll put that.
So I need the name of that mover again. Do you remember it?
Maybe company problem. I don't have the name of it. It's just...
This guy. You know the other thing I noticed about stars? Their estimate?
What?
Repair of sewer line. Estimate is for a spot repair located in the street. This entire repair was in the street. There was no part that would call for any normal compaction because none of it was on his property.
They're a scamming company. I guarantee. I mean, just the person who bought it. The place. I mean, I don't know where they found them. Oh,
the buyer's agent.
The agent. I'll bet you the agent got a kickback from this.
Well, that would be wild.
Well, like I say, he was one of 3 people, one of 4. 2 people that had nothing to do with it said no. The inspector from the county, the city.
This report is sponsored by Lowe's. Frozen, I know. Start with Lowe's. Save 5% on eligible purchases every day made with the Lowe's.
Tom will remember that one lady though that had was going to sue. What was the company she was going to sue and stuff for that? For go in there and say that the sewer was bad or the. And then they had the person who was on the referral list and stuff.
Brandon Siglio.
Yeah, was going to represent him. I wonder how that went.
I wonder what kind of car he drives. I never looked. Can you imagine an attorney in a bad car? Voting underway for House Speaker. Well, there you go, bro. It's not just it. They're voting right now. Nay. I.
I wonder how they do that.
You've watched them vote. Didn't you watch the Kavanaugh?
No. I wonder if all the Republicans vote no.
Well, okay. Well, if you're a Republican, wouldn't you want Nancy Pelosi back? First of all, on a real note, it's not some crazy lefty. Acknowledging she is very left, but not like the woman in Brooklyn or whatever her name is. What is it, Cortez?
Yeah.
I mean, she's like free pizza, free Chuck E. Cheese, free everything.
No, you're right. I mean,
Who do you vote for? Or you abstain?
Or does it look good? Can you get on a committee now?
Or can you write in a vote and write in Trump?
No. But it might be a way to stay in her good graces.
No wonder Babbel is the #1
yeah, but who cares?
app in Europe. Try it for yourself.
It's going to be a crazy year. I can't believe the stock market, dude. I feel so good. I got the fuck out. I've got one holding. I'm not talking retirement stuff. That stuff will go up eventually. But I'm talking trading stuff. It's like shit. It's crazy, man.
Well, like I said, the only thing I can hope for is when they drop the tariffs with China.
Well, that's going to help big time. Whose earnings get? Well, Apple, not their shit, but who came? Oh, jobs report was good. Companies hired more people than they thought. There was some other good news, but
7,867 7,000 ideal.
It's just so real.
We should be playing the VIX, bro. It's up 6.68 today. I'm gonna invest in nothing but Bitcoin and VIX.
Oh,
what is it? Volatility index. What's the dude's name? Eduardo
Enrique.
Enrique.
Sounds like Eduardo.
Is he going to be live with me?
I really do. I really think that STARS is a scam.
Is Salisbury coming on or no?
We're done with Denise.
Troubleshooter. Welcome to the show, the only show of its kind. We're here to solve problems, answer questions, take your complaints, get directly involved in your life. You've been ripped off, taken advantage of. This is it. This is the only show of its kind. And we truly do get directly involved. You know, Denise, we just helped last hour. She's got her place. We can actually drop that line, Suzanne. I don't know why I kept that up from last hour. But anyhow, we're done with her. We do have one line open. 303-713-8255. 303 Martino works on and off the air, by the way. You can always leave a message here, and we'll call you back. We'll get you lined up. We call those outbound calls. The other way you can always get through to us is help at Troubleshooter.com. Don't forget referrallist.com. Speaking of great members on referrallist.com, how about Art of Granite? Mitch Floria comes to this country. $300, 300 bones in his pocket. He makes it from New York to Colorado. He starts with a guy that teaches him the art of granite. Therefore, that's the name of the company. Mitch is one of the best out there. He uses great guys. And if you get your kitchen done, most likely you'll get the bathroom for free. The other thing that's unique about Mitch and Art of Granite is if he doesn't have the exact stone you want, you can virtually go anywhere else and use his wholesale account to buy the stone. He does the custom edges the way he wants. He sells sinks, cabinets, smallest jobs, big jobs. You can actually take a photo. Listen to this. What other place can you take a photo of your existing kitchen or bathroom? You send it over to Art of Granite, and they'll give you a quote over the phone, and they're generally right. You ready? 303-386-5919. 303-386-5919. Now, we've got a follow-up. This one's pretty strange. I'm going to bring Phyllis up. Hold on a second. Phyllis, you called yesterday. You and your husband, if I recall, I'm going off memory, moved from Colorado to California. Is that correct? No, Sun City.
Mm-hmm.
So you guys moved to Sun City. You hired a mover out here. Now, who did you hire the mover through? Who was the original people you called?
U.S. Atlas.
So here's what they do, and I'm recapping this so everybody does not fall into this mistake. They Google and basically find U.S. Atlas. All U.S. Atlas does is really sub out the work. They really have nothing to do with anything. This is a pretty big scam. U.S. Atlas will generally quote something very small, and it's not just U.S. Atlas. There's a ton of these companies. They'll say, okay, $4,000, $5,000 for the entire move. And basically, if I recall, guys, that's what they told you, $5,000 originally, right?
Yeah, somewhere around that.
So after this $5,000, you know, the stuff's been in storage, and they now want, what did they want now? 14.
They want another $4,800.
Well, first of all, we've been paid already $9,000.
Correct, and they want more still.
Correct. Yeah. Now, when they deliver, they want $4,800 and change.
It's absolutely insane. So, folks listening, think about this. It went from $5,000 up to roughly $14,000, and they still don't have their stuff. They simply don't have it. Now, we sent somebody out. Dan and I were going to go out, but we had one of our referral list members call in and said, hey, I'm kind of close to there. Let me go by and look at this address. Well, there's a big problem with this address, and Steve the painter with Star Quality Painting, when you went out to there, you sent us a picture, but tell people what this address was, that apparently that wasn't supposed to be U.S. Atlas, so, right, John and Phyllis? That was the actual moving company they subbed to. What
Konami or something.
What was it?
Correct. Konami. K-O-N-A-M-I.
K-O-N-A-M-I. Konami. Right. So we get out there. Did you guys ever Google that address, you two?
Yeah, I did, and what I found on the Google map was some kind of office building. It was building number 4, Suite 30 something.
Well, we've got the picture up on our Facebook right now, so anybody can go to our Facebook. Just search Referral List on Facebook. We always do the show live from there. And my goodness, Steve the painter, explain what's over there.
It's an apartment building.
Yeah, and the problem is, it's nothing but an apartment building. The address is totally bogus, man.
Wow.
That's the problem, guys, tracking these down. You wanted to come out here. We were going to see if we could find these guys, and I felt really good about this because the company was located here in Colorado. Generally, they're in Florida, but it's not the right address.
Yeah, it started out, U.S. Atlas was in Vegas,
yeah,
and then they contracted to Colorado. I did get an email from Brittany this morning, who apparently is the dispatcher or somebody in charge of scheduling stuff. Would you like me to read it to you real quick?
Real quick, but basically they just want cash when they show up, and you're terrified that you'll give them the cash and you won't get the right stuff or all this stuff.
Right. So I'm going to work on getting some witnesses there to see, and we'll photograph the cashier's check, and we'll do all of that. And
generally, I'll have you read that email in a second, but listen, generally, once they held you over a barrel and bent you over and blackmailed you and everything these companies do, you generally will get your stuff because they already took you. I mean, they already made a ton of money off you. But go ahead, read it real quick.
It says, John, I'm out of town on business right now. The trailer will not arrive for 2 to 3 days, but once it gets here, it will be coming straight to you. They are coming from the East Coast. They were supposed to be here tomorrow, but got caught in weather and delayed on deliveries. I am not avoiding you. I will be in meetings most of today.
All right. Well, hopefully they're there in 2 or 3 days, man. Just get a game plan together. Make sure you do have a witness or two. But, I mean, they got you held hostage, man. If that was an address, we'd go over and confront them. It's one of my favorite things to do. Me and Deputy Dan will go out. Seriously, we'll do a live Facebook video. And I love doing that stuff, and a lot of times that gets somewhere, but they're simply, that's not a good address, man.
John, why do they say they charge that extra money?
Yeah, why are they saying? They're saying they didn't calculate right, you guys lied to them, they had to store it longer.
No, nothing like that. It was just that once we had paid the Atlas movers, then when the Konami came on, they showed up with 3 men in a truck, and they loaded everything up and said, here's what you owe us, and the balance will be due when we deliver it. And
we had to give them $5,400 before they took off.
And this is before your this is after your stuff is in the truck and out of your house, right?
Right.
Right.
Boy, they got this deal down pat. I swear to God, these moving companies, folks, you better not go with the cheapest one you find on the internet, because this is what happens. I can't put it any other way. If you guys can come up with a real address or something on the actual company, Konami or even U.S. Atlas, and if it's here in Colorado, I'd love to help you out, but there's nothing you're going to do here. Just get your stuff back.
Right. Well, one of the things I'm going to follow up, and I'll email you some of the paperwork and any phone numbers and all that kind of stuff for you.
Yeah.
If you follow up on that end and notify people.
Yeah.
And also, I'm going to try and contact, I think it's Channel 3 TV. They have a 3&U advocate group on the television station here, and talk to them. Maybe they can send somebody out when they're offloading the furniture and saying, we'd like to talk to you movers. Can you talk to blah, blah, blah.
Hey, why Sun City, out of a different topic real quick? Why Sun City? I assume you guys looked at Florida, the desert. I mean, do you have relatives there? Why Sun City? I mean, it's a beautiful area.
It's a retirement community.
Oh, I know what it is.
I'm 75 years old, and my sister lives here.
Okay.
Persuaded us to come down here. And
plus, my wife doesn't need the oxygen. She needed oxygen 24/7 up there in Colorado.
We had who was it, Suzanne, that was on oxygen forever?
May and Loy. You know Loy.
Yep, May and Loy. This guy, every time we'd go to a poker party at his house once a month, this guy was always on oxygen, and he would tell me when they went to either Arizona or Las Vegas or to sea level how he wouldn't have to use oxygen. I'd say, my God, why haven't you moved? But because they had some family here, it took him forever, but he's never been happier. He's out walking golf courses now.
Yeah, that's right.
I haven't used it since I got here.
It's amazing. Do you wish you moved quicker, Phyllis?
Yeah.
See, it's so funny. Sometimes I always wonder, did you guys have family here or roots here?
Oh, yeah, we lived there in Colorado for over 40 years, and when I went on the internet and did a comparison study, Sun City was 20% cheaper to live here than it is Colorado.
And you don't got to deal with this. You're not dealing with this cold snap. Get me that information. I appreciate you guys calling in. I'm sorry it didn't work out when we went out there. I wish to God it was a good address. And Steve the Painter, I want to thank you. And by the way, you can find Star Quality Painting and Steve the Painter at referralist.com. He's a great guy. Hey, Steve, real quick, is there a lot of companies say this, you know, big job, small job, no job too big or so small. I mean, really, will you go out and bid virtually any job, whether the exterior of the house, the interior? How about if they just want a door done or a deck stain? I mean, what's your typical deal, man? Anything?
Anything.
Anything.
Like I've always said, if I can hold it still long enough, I can paint it.
I like that. If you want to get a paint job or at least a bid on it, Steve the Painter, he's always helping the show, 303-948-8765. We all appreciate that, Steve, and I'm sure John and Phyllis feel the same way. Once again, Star Quality Painting, 303-948-8765. You know who's coming in? Who's going to be here any minute? One of my favorite attorneys. Literally one of my favorite attorneys. In fact, she turned Suzanne and I onto these shows downtown. Daphne, do you ever go to these shows? These, I don't know if they're called off-Broadway, the musicals, whether it's the Christmas Carol or whatever they are.
I was supposed to go to Les Miserables, but my cat was sick.
That kind of stuff.
Yes.
So she kind of turned me onto that. I never thought I'd like that stuff, and one of them I saw was absolutely, what's that one? I basically fell asleep. They kept doing the didgeridoo and the dancing, and the whole thing sounded like some kind of Irish
Mark,
bar.
I forget the name of it.
Oh, my God, that one was horrible. But most of them that we have gone and seen are unbelievable. One called something Evans. If that's still around, folks, if you like that stuff, you should check it out. That was really good.
I did get to see Hamilton, and that was amazing.
Darren, you've been holding a little bit. Hamilton, God, it's so political, though.
But it's so well done.
You know, I have gotten extremely non-political. I'm going to tell you how bad it is. Listen to me. I'm not kidding. Do you realize I don't even listen in my car now? You can ask Suzanne, too. This is no joke. I used to listen to the news constantly. Constantly. I'm telling you, I'm back to like episodes of King of Queens and Seinfeld. In the car, I'm listening to different talk shows, but they're non-political like this show. I have a very low tolerance for it right now, and it actually annoys me. It truly does annoy me.
And you're in a better mood, too, aren't you?
I think I am, actually.
I think you are.
I'm sick of arguing with people when it comes to politics. It's horrible. All right, 303-713-8255. Darren, real quick, then I got to take a break, and I'll come back to you. What's going on with the bed bugs?
This place that I've been living in, I'm coming up on almost 3 years.
Got it.
I've had bed bugs. The first time it was after about 6 to 8 months, and they treated, and they said there was a year guarantee. They came back.
Now, did you pay for that or the complex?
The complex paid it.
So basically, you've lived there 3 year. After you lived there 6 to 8 months, they came out the first time. When's the second time they came out, if they have come out a second time?
They came back a second time, approximately about 6, 7 months.
All right, so they've been out there twice in roughly a year's period. Hold tight, all right, man? All right, 303-713-8255, 303-713-8255. Frank Duran, the real estate man. My goodness, I can't talk better about a person walking this planet. He is the best out there. You realize he goes to school constantly for negotiation skills. He's the only realtor I know that does that. He also talks to an attorney, a real estate attorney, I believe quarterly. It could even be more often. He talks to one, spends money with one to stay up on all the rules and regulations about selling property in Colorado. He's with RE/MAX Alliance. He's got the RE/MAX Lifetime Achievement Award, and he's got over 25 years, in fact, almost 30, of just proven credibility. I've used him. Tom uses him. We all use him. Frank Duran, the real estate man, I don't know what else to say. He's the best. This bed bug epidemic. You know, I don't think I or my kids ever had lice or bed bugs. I never even heard of bed bugs till I moved here.
Yeah. But it is, like I say, it's luck of the draw, the way I've heard.
Oh my God, we've stayed in so many hotels. All it takes is one hotel and you're screwed. And it doesn't, I read something saying the nicer hotels are more likely to have them, which is weird.
That must be because there's travelers from all over the world.
Ah. How about airplanes? When you were working the flights, was there bed bugs?
No.
Not that you ever recall, right? It's almost like, where did these things come from?
Well, in the old days, bed bugs were everywhere.
Yeah.
They were.
Oh, yeah, in like the 1800s and stuff.
And when I was a flight attendant.
That's what I meant, the old days.
And I was in a different hotel every night. I never got
the real
I
old
never
days.
got
The real old days.
Never got them in all of the hotels I stayed in. You know.
I wonder if a colder climate, you would think that if that kept them out of the house.
And who pays? John Fuller is someone you should talk to. Free of charge, complimentary. If he takes the case, it's only payable if he wins, and it's a small percentage of what he collects. Why should you be the one to suffer? 303-597-4500, 597-4500 on my referral list at referrallist.com. Have you ever wanted to refinance your mortgage but didn't want to start a new 30-year loan all over again? Hey, it's Ross Kaminsky for my friends at American Financing, and let me tell you, they can help. When refinancing to eliminate mortgage insurance, lower your rate, or consolidate high-interest debt, you don't have to worry about resetting your loan term, because at American Financing, they offer 10, 13, or 18-year loans, really any term you need. It truly is a custom
Bed
loan.
bugs, bro. Lice was a big thing. I remember in school, they'd like, I think the teachers would check you in elementary school, right?
Yeah.
Like I said,
Never had that either.
I've never seen a kid with their head shaved.
I've never seen that, I don't think.
Isn't that what they do? They shave their head?
I don't think so.
For what?
For bed bugs? Or for lice?
So what do they do? Well, what do they used to do? How do they get it?
I get, well, maybe like in Auschwitz and stuff they did. But, well, it's true.
How we made that, how we just made that leap. But okay.
But no, I mean, there's things you can do that.
Well, what do they do?
That you rinse your hair with.
Well, they give you special lice combs too, right?
A comb that gets the eggs out.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would think you just go underwater.
No.
Well, they can't breathe underwater.
I don't know.
But they could probably last longer than you.
I don't think they can. Well, no, but you go underwater, you put on your scuba diving equipment.
Go to a depth of 100 meters.
And you go 50 meters down. Yes.
I can't dive under the water. Too much pressure.
Your ears?
Yeah.
You feel if you got good, it's because you got sinus blockage. If that's what, otherwise everything should.
Yeah, look at all the bed bug comments. I just want to hang myself.
Do they all come out now?
I can't stand,
yeah.
They're all going to say how to get rid of them. Everybody has their own way. I think the only thing that works
eucalyptus oil
is when they
heat it up.
He thinks drown them.
when they heat up everything. I'll come back with Excel. Excel? I haven't even talked about him though. Just out of the blue, huh?
Dramatic reduction in lower back pain and greater joint flexibility, and nearly every single person got benefits.
Who's the comment Excel?
It's everyday herbal pain relief in a capsule, and it's good for you. And now it's free. Just pay shipping and call now for your free bottle. Your satisfaction is 100% guaranteed. Dial now 1-800-218.
Oh, I have to leave early. My crown is hurting.
It's hurting?
I think it's too big.
Don't they do? Man, my guy, he works on that for bite.
I know. I did the same thing, but
can you feel it?
I can't eat on that side. It hurts.
Ooh.
I get a zinger.
Oh.
Bonnie's here. Oh. All right, coming up in a second, Bonnie Shields will join us in studio. I'll let everybody know when a line drops. Some topics blow me away. I already got 3 comments on bed bugs, and we haven't even figured out Darren's entire thing. But real quick, Suzanne, someone called up asking for Excel Services number during the break.
Yes, that's right.
These guys are incredible. You're probably Tom and I talking about them on air last week. These guys are the best cleaners we've ever had. You know, Suzanne and I both work full-time, as you know. Our kids are either in school full-time. Actually, our son works full-time and is in college. So we do have a cleaner. They come every 2 weeks, and they do an amazing job. Absolutely an amazing job. They'll do, how do they do that deep cleaning? Like,
so what they do is they have a checkoff list. They do 1 room a week for deep cleaning, and they just keep rotating with the regular cleans. It's wonderful,
so
Mark.
Every room is always spotless, but how one of the things they do is deep clean on that cycle all the time. But you're going to be shocked at the pricing. Trust me, I'm a very savvy person when it comes to spending money, and these guys are incredible. And they're not some weird franchise like Folly Maids or whatever the other people are. These are a real company here in Colorado, in business for over 25 years. They've got true employees, workman's comp. They're insured. They're bonded. It's the real deal. There's no contracts. If you just need a one-time cleaning, they'll do it. But the owner will actually come out if you want to get a schedule going. And once again, no contracts. But he'll come out, check it out, explain everything to you. They're great guys. They do residential and commercial. Just give them a call. Take them up on that free look. 303-683-3470. 303-683-3470. And they go far, too. It's not like we live right in town. They cover a good portion of the Front Range. All right, I got to get back to Darren. So, Darren, 3 years ago, you moved in. About 6-7 months later, they treat for bed bugs. It looks like it worked temporarily. Then they had to come out the second time, approximately another 6 months later. So where are we at after that? Do they have to come out again?
Okay, well, first of all, I'd have to ask that you kind of bear with me. I just got diagnosed with pneumonia yesterday.
Okay.
So
I'm bearing. Keep going, man.
There's a ton of information here, and you're just
Darren, okay, but a lot of that information I don't think is going to help me. What I'm trying to figure out is I assume right now, this second, there's bed bugs in the apartment.
Yes.
What does the complex say? Are they sending out to treat again? And then I want to ask how they're treating. Are they doing that heat treatment that just cooks everything? What are they doing?
No, they're doing
a spray. Okay. And apparently it's not working. Are they saying they're coming from other apartments? Are they blaming you for bringing them in?
The second time they came back, yeah, they started to insinuate that it was me.
Okay. Do your neighbors have issues with them?
I believe so.
But you don't know?
I don't know for sure because I haven't spoken directly to them, but I have, I live on the 3rd floor. I'm right above the parking lot. And the second time they came back, some neighbors pulled in with a truck directly below me at night, and they had a dresser and something else that was empty in there, and they were back there with flashlights searching it for 20 or 30 minutes talking about bed bugs. And it was late at night.
So they were probably looking for them.
Yeah, they were. And
so what is the apartment complex going to do right now? Help me get somewhere with this call. Are they just outright refusing to send somebody else out? Do you need us to make a call over to the management and see if they'll get someone out?
Well, where we're at now is after the second treatment, they came back 2 more times within a 2 to 3 week period. I bombed a total of 3 times.
Okay.
Since then, they.
Darren, do you want out of your lease? Maybe I'll just start guessing at what you're wanting because you're not telling me.
Yes, I would like a good. I don't have much time left on my lease.
Okay.
And
so you would like to get out of the lease based upon the bed bugs?
Yes.
We can I would even go as far as to call it an epidemic at this point if it's been going on and off for 3 years. You could do what's called... Go ahead.
This lease coming up would be the start of the 3rd year. So this has been going on for 2 years.
Okay, so but you've got 1 more year in this lease.
No, I've got about 3 months.
But you want to get out early?
Yes.
Do you have another place lined up? That's not going to be an issue, right?
No, I could find a place. I've just got to come up with the dough to move. But I don't want a bad.
Yeah, you don't want
reference, and I don't want to be obligated to the lease.
Well, the reference, I don't know if they're going to give you a bad reference or not. But I'm going to take a break. When I come back, we're going to talk about what's called a constructive eviction. And that's basically when you evict yourself, and I'll give you some ideas there. So hold tight. 303-713-8255. Let's just take a quick break. I'll do it live at a different time, all right, man? Yeah.
Good morning. Hey,
didn't even see you guys switch.
Hey, are there USB ports anywhere up here?
USB.
What kind of phone do you have?
An iPhone.
This might charge it by sitting it on there outside of the case.
Oh, really? You don't need a special?
I don't think so.
Really?
But I know this is here. And then Suzanne might have a charger if we need a charger.
Okay. Well, I got a charger, but I just want to.
Oh, you know what? How about right there?
No, well, does that
There's
thing?
two of them.
Where do you see that?
1, 2, right here. Oh, son of a bitch. Let me see it. It's way back here. Oh, wait, that says Type C. I don't
know what that
C
is either. I've seen that.
I figure there might be a USB on the side of the computer.
You know what? There might
right here.
Here. Oh, will that charge it?
Well, or is that not a power?
I don't know enough about
It's at 22. We'll shut it off and see.
Jeez, Dan.
I just reached over and got it. I don't know when it got into me.
I don't know if I knocked this off of something.
How did that go with Centeno, by the way? Did you get everything?
Yeah, it went good. I gotta go get the MRI. His staff is a little. I really like the doctors. The staff could use a little more coordination, like maybe a lot more coordination.
They're too busy.
It's like I need a prescription for the MRI because they need you to have the MRI before you go in.
Oh, really?
So until you get that, you're in limbo.
Yeah, and my appointment with them is next Friday, so I'm going to call and move it and see if I can't get that prescription from them and get that done.
That's for your knee?
Yeah, it's certainly worth checking out. It's not a fix-all, but it sounds like it's something that potentially could make you feel a lot better for a longer period of time before you have to do something surgically.
I just think
so. If it buys you,
to stay away, right?
If it buys you years, my sister just had her second knee replacement, and it's awful. If I can avoid that.
Because they can't guarantee a knee replacement either.
Right, for at least a time period. Yeah. Well, here's what they can't guarantee is whether you can ever get down on your knees again.
Oh, really?
Her first one, she can't get down on that knee, and the second one, we don't know yet. But I can't get down on my knees right now either. Well, very gingerly. Very gingerly.
No, it's just too bad insurance doesn't cover it.
Yeah. But I know when they said they had this facility in somewhere out in Bahamas.
Yeah.
I told my husband, I said, I don't have any problem going there. And he's like, yeah, I didn't think that you would.
The reason they have that facility is if you need like your shoulder, your knees.
You need multiple things done
there you go.
Where they can grow your.
Exactly. Right.
And I don't. But somebody talked to said, it's excruciating, and then they say it's not painful at all. So I would really want to get the story on that.
Well, you can do two types. It's either fat or marrow, right?
Yeah, there's a couple of things that they do.
And I don't know what is marrow. Maybe they get more stem cells. I don't know.
You know what's interesting though is my dog just had knee surgery, and he also has a shoulder and elbow issues. And so while he was out, they told me they were going to give him an injection. As long as he was already out, it'd be a good time to do it. And I found out they gave him something it's from his blood plasma. She goes, it's kind of like stem cells.
Or is it PRP?
Well, she said it was kind of, and maybe that was it. Mark, it was cool, but I thought she was just going to get a cortisone or something. I thought that that's what they were going to do to him. It was really cool that they were using something more cutting edge to put into those joints.
Remember the one that I just.
Imagine dogs; they don't have to get all the FDA and stuff.
But they're the ones we're trying.
So.
Yeah. So I didn't know they were going to do that, but they did.
Did it help?
I don't know. He had the knee surgery. He had a scope of his knee. He had a bunch of arthritis in there.
I'm going to think about how to word that.
And he got an infection last week in the surgery site. He's been in the hospital for 8 days.
Your dog? Oh, you're going to have a bill.
Oh, I saw the bill through yesterday. It was just $7,800.
Do you have insurance on?
We do, but it's not going to cover a lot of that.
What happened to the dog?
He got an infection after his knee surgery. So they're doing surgery again today, going in and cleaning it out. Whatever they have him on, he's been on IV penicillin or some kind of antibiotic for a week and hasn't touched it.
Damn pets.
And they haven't got back the lab culture yet to see what the bug is. So they're going to surgically clean out the wound. And she said he might be able to go home tomorrow, which would be awesome.
Where is he?
He's at VRCC.
Yeah, very expensive. That's where our cat was.
And the good news is, when he was recovering from the knee surgery.
All right, welcome into studio. Bonnie Shields, attorney extraordinaire. Family Law is the name of her game. How long you been doing it, Bonnie?
16, almost 17 years now.
Just family law.
I do family law mostly, and I also do personal injury auto accidents and mediation.
Wow. Mediation, that's a big one, too, because a lot of people, hey, if everything is even Steven, it's a lot cheaper to do mediation.
I love doing mediation. It's really something that people come out, and it might be a little hard to kind of stomach the agreement at first, but we save a lot of money in attorney's fees and emotional costs and all of that.
What happens if you're
really good.
What happens if you're doing mediation and one of them's just not coming to the table, and there's not much you're going to do as a mediator? You can't even represent either of them at that point, then, right?
Right, I can't. I have to remain neutral. So at that point, if somebody just won't bend at all, then you just have to move on and get a hearing and go spend lots of money on attorney's fees.
I would assume generally that doesn't happen, because if they enter into mediation, they have an idea they're going to get there, right?
Right. And I go to a lot of mediations as an attorney as well as doing some. I found that most of the time, almost always, or maybe 80% of the time, we get some kind of agreement. And even if you don't get an agreement, you at least kind of understand where the other side's coming from, and it helps you prepare for your hearing.
No, regardless, it would help you. That's a good point.
It helps you know what's going on.
All right, so let's get back to Darren. Darren, you're basically trying to get out of your lease. So here's the deal. You're basically going to have to prove, if you do this correctly, that it's uninhabitable. And that would be a constructive eviction. And basically, you would evict yourself. I don't know if bed bugs in a 3 or 4 time period over 2 years or whatever time frame, if it's going to fall into that. I'm not an attorney. I don't know if you would possibly win that case. Now, if you don't do it correctly, though, if you think about this, whatever your down payment was, your first last month, your security deposit, pet deposits, whatever you have, they might just very well keep if you get up and split. Then it's going to be on your record, man.
Yeah, and that's what I'm most concerned about.
Well, and that's going to be, I don't know how bad it is. If you had bed bugs all the time and the neighbors had bed bugs, or let's take it further, you have no plumbing, you have no water, well, then it would be uninhabitable. I don't know if your circumstance is or not, but, you know, that's what you got to figure out. And then it's not, well, go ahead.
Can I ask you, I've lost...
And are they refusing? Here, hold on. Hold on, Darren. Then I'll let you ask me. But are they refusing to do anything? Because that could be another problem. If they're trying to solve it, well, and it sounds like they are trying to solve it. Just that attempt might make it to where you can't do it, at least not properly.
Okay. Well, I emailed them last week.
Yeah.
The manager, when I found out that they were back again, and I have not heard back anything. Then when they first came and treated, they pulled up all the carpet edges and the covers off the heaters and everything, and they have not to this day come back and put all that stuff back. I had to kind of put it back into place myself.
Look, man, Darren, I know for whatever reason you want out of there, and if it's just the bed bugs, that's fine. If there's other reasons, too, because they didn't put stuff back together, that's fine. My gut tells me, and once again, I'm not an attorney, I don't think your situation is going to fall into a constructive eviction. Now, if you bug them again and again and they don't let you out, that's fine. But being that it's only 3 months, try to get them out there. How about we call over there and try to get someone out there for you?
Yeah, that'd be fine. I also have mold, too.
See, okay, mold not all mold's bad. I mean, where's the mold at? You know, mold, you know the funny thing about mold, you know what it needs? It needs food. You cut the food off, and the mold will go away. You can use something like Kills to go over it with. It's like paint, and it'll kill it. But you got to stop the food source. So where is the mold? Where?
The mold is inside the wall in the shower, and it's pushed out a couple tiles.
Send us some. I want to see the picture of this mold. Will you send us a picture?
Sure.
And then I want you to give Suzanne the information on this. I want to know the complex and who he's talked to over there, Suzanne. Hold on a second, Darren. And then Deputy Daff, you want to take a stab at this? I want to see the picture of mold. People freaking panic on mold beyond belief. I mean, it's really crazy. So let's give a call over there, and let's take a look at that picture. Sound good? In the meantime, Rick, what's your comment on the bed bugs?
Hey, Mark, this is Rick. How you doing?
Good, Rick. What's up?
Well, the easiest and the cheapest one, after they clean, all you got to do is baking soda. Bed bugs hate baking soda. You put it along the baseboards, inside the electrical outlets. You get a mattress cover. You sprinkle that. You zip up the mattress cover.
You know what's funny, Rick? They
you
make
won't see them ever again.
They make that carpet stuff. I think it's by Arm & Hammer. That's basically made for that you kind of just put around the room, then vacuum.
Yeah, but this one you just leave along the edges, you know.
And that's it.
And that's it. I mean, it's the cheapest way. I mean, you go out there and buy a couple of boxes of baking soda.
But that's after they treat it, right?
No, this is after you clean, basically.
Oh, just clean it and put it down.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Put it down.
All right.
Yeah, they don't like baking soda. They hate it.
Thanks, Rick.
You're welcome.
Baking soda, I wouldn't have guessed that. Mike with GE Tree Service on a referral list or referrallist.com. What's your comment on the bed bugs?
Pretty much the same thing he said, but I was...
baking soda?
Based on a friend, he used salt. He put the salt around the perimeter of the wall where the wall meets the carpet.
Just never heard of this stuff.
Lifted between the box spring and the mattress, shook the salt there.
Wow.
And then took the sheets off, shook it, and then put the sheets back on so that the salt is between the sheet and the mattress itself. And then he shook some salt around the perimeter of his bed on the carpet, and he never had any bed bugs problems after that.
Hey, Mike, I appreciate that. I'm curious something, though. You made me think of something else. What is a tree guy like you? I mean, during the summer, you're pruning trees, you're cutting them down, you're doing anything, turning them into wood chips. What do you do in the winter, though? Are you doing the same thing? I mean, what does a tree guy like GE Tree Service do this time of year?
Well, this time of year, the best time is for ornamental fruit trees, your spring snow crab apples, your pear trees, even your regular crab apples and apple trees. They all need to be trimmed when they're dormant, when the leaves are off between basically November 15th to March 15th.
Wow.
And
then you'll have a better, healthier tree.
And it protects them from those wet snows in the spring and the fall. You know, when you thin it out and you remove that dead wood, because the biggest reason is fire blight is the number one reason why you have to trim those.
Got it.
During the dormancy period. So.
All right, Mike. I appreciate that, and if anybody needs that done, thanks for that bed bug advice too. I never heard of salt, but if anybody needs a tree service, these guys are great. Mike with GE Tree Service. You can find them on referrallist.com. All right, 303-713-8255. Renee is having an issue with getting paid on her vehicle. We'll go to that in a second. But I had someone ask, I've been talking about Stars Plumbing and Heating, these guys, and I'll recap real quick. These guys gave a guy an estimate for $7,500 to do a sewer line. And I do want to read one part of this first estimate. It says, estimate is for a spot repair located in the street in front of the property. So this entire repair they're doing, by the way, is literally in the street. Now, it was done in Evans, Colorado. In Evans, Colorado, just like 99.9% of every city and county in Colorado require, if you're working on the right-of-way or their property, in other words, you're working below the street, you have to use flow fill. Flowable fill. What is it? Well, it's almost like a liquid. So they dig this big trench in, then they pour this liquid in, and it hardens so the street doesn't cave in. In this case, you know, it was the city of Evans. These guys said they were just going to use dirt, which the city would never allow. In fact, it's in the city of Evans, Colorado, street specifications. They'd never, ever allow it. And these guys, Enrique, the owner of Stars Plumbing and Heating, has yet to call us back. On Friday, when I had one of his goons, and I use goons possibly as a nice word on the air, you know what he says? He says, well, if it turns out it was required in the beginning, I'll talk to him and maybe we'll figure something out. And I played that yesterday. But guess what? Once we proved to him that it should have been in the initial bid, they just shut up. Now they won't talk to anybody. Daphne's left messages. We'll leave more messages. But these guys turned around, gave him a $7,500 estimate. When it was way too late to do anything, they changed the price to $17,500. My God, listeners, please help us out with these guys. Ask them why they're screwing this guy so bad. Ask them. They won't tell us at this point. The guy told me they would talk to him and maybe work something out. Now, they didn't say they would definitely work something out if they should have had it in the initial bid. But what I have learned is there's not one plumbing contractor that knows anything that didn't realize that you have to use flow fill when you dig up a city street. Not one. In fact, the opposite. Everybody knows it. So here's what I think they did. I think Stars Plumbing and Heating lowballed it so he'd take the job from them. Lowballed it. He should have never went with them, and he learned the lesson. Then when it was too late and it was dug up, they said, oh, well, guess what? It's going to be an additional $10,000, and there's nothing we can do. But their initial estimate literally says, estimate is for a spot repair located in the street. They drive me crazy. But if you wouldn't mind doing me a favor, just call them up. I'd love if anybody could get a comment from these guys. They shut up. Enrique and the gang, shut up. They don't want to talk about it because they know they did the guy wrong. They did him dead wrong. In my opinion, these guys should be, don't even go close to them. Don't call them for an estimate because it doesn't matter. If they treat you the way they treated Scott, it doesn't matter what it is. You want something drained, they might quote you $99. Next thing you know, it's $5,000. Stars Plumbing and Heating. Please, I would love, in fact, Suzanne, try to get him on again. I would love for him to come on. He came on last Friday. What he didn't realize is I knew that almost every single town or city requires flow fill when you dig up the street. And none of this was in his yard. The entire project was in the street. You can reach Stars Plumbing, 303-505-1180. Deputy Dan, this is one I think we do go out to.
Well, they're at least made for the Sleaze Brigade.
These guys are literally made for the Sleaze Brigade. In fact, for people listening right now, Sleaze Brigade and Stars Plumbing, when you hear this, and I'm sure you'll go back and listen to it because I know the type. I know your type. You'll go back, you'll listen to this, and you're going to get very upset at first. Oh, they can't say that. It was a mistake. It's not a mistake. You guys apparently have been in business for 08. There is no way you didn't know the entire street would have to have flow fill. And to do what you did is unconscionable. And you do belong on the Sleaze Brigade. And if you don't know what that is, go to sleazebrigade.com. Why don't you contact those people on there? Why don't you contact the people that rip people off and they reach out to us almost every year trying to get off of it after they figured out how powerful it is? You know what? Google Kalen Eccles, people. Google him right now, Kalen Eccles. The only thing that'll come up, or the first thing, is going to be the Sleaze Brigade article. Because he did somebody wrong. To the point, not just a little miscommunication, bad stuff. Stars Plumbing, I would love feedback if anybody can get a hold of these guys. 303-505-1180. We'll be right back.
This report is
sponsored by Blue EU. Let's start with the good news up front.
Stars, not only did it do that, I just think that thing didn't need to be dug up.
Mark, let me ask you advice on something.
Yes, ma'am.
Or you two deputies. So I him buy a vehicle. Hater Suzanne.
Buy a vehicle?
Used one, new one?
Used one, probably around 10 grand or something.
Okay.
I've been to the places like Shop, and you gotta have 150, too many miles in that. I also don't, I'm really picky. I really don't want like a Ford or a Chevy. I'm really hoping to find a Honda, Toyota, or Subaru, just because he can't afford a ton of repair bills. I don't know. Would you start at the dealerships like that are?
Should buy their car.
Oh.
Are you selling their car?
I wouldn't sell for that. I wouldn't sell for that price.
Oh, I didn't hear the price.
Oh, that looks great.
Like, it's not perfect, but a lot better.
How much?
Well,
I gave the backline
looking
number
at
to
10
the
to
manager
12
call.
Who's it for?
From the apartment complex.
But I'm afraid to go like that.
What I'll do is whisper it to
we know nothing about vehicles.
But I'm only
Okay,
here
so Rockies, you've heard that, right?
So,
And
yeah,
they're
and I
pretty-
gave my
they're up
office
north
number
a little
after
bit and
that.
stuff.
But
But
Are we keeping
also
Darren on
Blinker.
for a few minutes?
Blinker.com?
I would say let's
That's
circle that, right?
an app.
You can give his phone number?
Right. You don't know if there's going to be anything on there, but go look.
I just wanted to
and
talk
then
to
get it checked out. You still need to get it checked out by your mechanic there. But there you're dealing with a
What did
private,
they say ours should sell for?
private
Did
dealer.
we get that?
Private person. But you know you can get, it's going to be legit.
What are you selling?
Ours still
Our
has
son's car.
20,000 mile bumper to bumper warranty too.
Well, what is it?
So Hyundai Accent.
Little 4-door Hyundai.
I think we're back.
That's all we own is Hyundais. We got 6 of them. Really? It's all because of the warranty. But I got her a new vehicle, and he conned me into taking her old Hyundai, which is an all-wheel drive. So he's going to make the payments on that, and then we're going to sell his. But it's only got 40,000 miles. It was just here a minute ago, too. I swear to God, he was here.
What are you going to put it on for?
I was going to put on Blinker, whatever Blinker said.
Oh, okay.
When you list something to sell on Blinker, it tells you what they're selling for everywhere. So you don't make up a price.
Well, let me think about that because it would be cash from Dash Chat.
Or you can finance it through Blinker.
Oh, you could finance it right through. That's why I sell it on Blinker, because it gives anybody the option to finance it.
It's free.
It's incredible.
She says that he talked to you about stupid car. He bought a 2009. It's a Chrysler.
Who is it?
My son, my oldest son. He's got this big boat. It's very nice. Rear-wheel drive. Good choice for Colorado.
Well, listen to this. This, of course, is front-wheel drive. About 40 miles to the gallon. 20,000 mile bumper-to-bumper warranty left. I got 2 sets of tires. The snow tires I just bought that are on it right now. 4 snow tires, and then I got perfect summer tires.
What year is it?
2015 or... It's his a 15 or 16. I don't remember.
Wow.
Literally, we got so many on this.
But Blinker is because
She
it's so
thinks
nice.
it's a 15.
You can finance it. You can finance right through Blinker, or you can pay cash.
Yeah, I'm trying to just pay for it so he doesn't have the car payment.
Well, Blinker would even let you. They'd finance even $2,000.
Yeah.
Well, I thought about that too. Is maybe I would
Could be
just
good for his credit.
do most of it. And, yeah, he's got a car payment now, and so I think we can sell it and get out what he's got. But
What's he got now?
This 2009 Chrysler.
See, sell that right on
It's a
Blinker.
big old sucker.
They'll handle all the paperwork. They do
Even if you owe something on it, can you sell it on
Yep,
Blinker?
absolutely. And they'll reach out to the credit union. They'll do the title work. They'll do everything.
Wow.
My back
Because I was
pocket.
thinking I was going to have to give him money to go pay it off to get the title, to have it in our hand,
No.
to put it on credit.
I sold mine through Blinker.
Did it have a thing on it?
Darren stay
Did it still have a loan on it? Or was it
No. I had a title.
She got some more
Okay.
information.
But they'll take care of the loan
So I
too.
make it a
They'll-
phone call back.
As far as
For the,
putting on.
No, I'm saying, who called you?
First time is gonna you got to
but
take pictures of the car,
Receptionist.
and all that.
Receptionist,
But it's
yeah.
an app you download on your phone, and I'll walk you through everything you do.
Exactly.
I will definitely, we'll check that out, Blinker.com.
Go to the where is that?
Oh, the Apple
Store and
Okay.
look, type in Blinker and stuff like that.
And this does not.
All right, 303-713-8255. Daphne, what's going on with the bed bugs one real quick? You reached out to the apartment complex. This guy's trying to get out of the lease, and if there's bed bugs all the time, I don't blame him, but I don't know if in a legal sense, and I'm not an attorney, if he's going to be able to do a constructive eviction based upon them out trying to get rid of bed bugs 3 or 4 times in 2 years. My gut says no. Go ahead.
Yeah, so it's the garden at Hidden Creek. This is in Colorado Springs.
Got it.
I had to leave a message for Jamie, the manager.
Oh, I thought she called you back.
They called back and asked for some more information, so I really think they're going to be calling back, so I wanted to keep Darren on
All right,
hold.
I'm dying to hear what's going to be happening there. So, Darren, we'll come back to you. I'll let everybody know when a line's open. But real quick, Laura, you've got a bed bug solution. Tell me it's not salt or baking soda, though.
No, it's not.
What is it?
Well, it's called diatomaceous earth, and a lot of people have never heard of
Dan
it.
eats it. Dan
Every
eats
day.
it. I swear to God, I watch this guy eat it.
And I have no bed bugs.
Okay, now wait. I take it every day in a health shake, and I give it to all of my animals in their animal food. I dust my chickens with it. I have a farm.
You know what?
None of my chickens have parasites.
To
None
me,
of my
this is like the
animals-
pet rock. These
Yeah,
guys
well, it
sold
is.
you dirt.
No.
No.
You're
it
eating
is. Well,
dirt.
It is. It's a.
You're literally eating dirt, right?
It's silica.
Ocean dirt.
They're actually shells.
But a lot of people do it. Suzanne, are you still eating dirt like this?
I just started back recently. I'm back on the DE.
And she has no bed bugs.
All three of us.
But Laura, so you actually spread this around, though?
Yeah, you can, and it'll get rid of any fleas out of carpet. It'll get rid of bed bugs that are, you know, if a person moves into a place that's infested. It happened to my daughter. She had to throw away all of her clothes, her brand new mattress, everything.
Isn't it strange, though, something that keeps bed bugs and fleas and lice away, you guys digest?
They're scrubbing bubbles in your system.
You take it, too?
I do, yeah.
Oh, God.
I've been taking it longer than that.
Laura, how long have you been taking it?
Since I worked for a master herbalist about 8 years ago, and I give it to all my animals, and what it does is it eradicates parasites out of the intestines also.
Have you lost hair or anything? Any rash outbreaks? Anything negative whatsoever?
Not one thing negative at all.
Tastes horrible, though.
I got a dog not too long ago that was half Anatolian and half Great Pyrenees for the farm, and he vomited up a roundworm in my back seat. He was very skinny. And within a month, he had gained about 30 pounds and was back to being a complete normal animal after giving him diatomaceous earth in his food.
Well, okay. I'm just like, I'm terrified to go to a chiropractor, so I start eating dirt. I just have a hard time. Thank you for that, though. So now we have salt, we have baking soda, and now the stuff you guys eat is now on the list.
But Mark, the thing about bed bugs, you can take care of your own, but if you're in an apartment complex and the neighbors have it, you're going to keep getting infested.
Well, that's why I asked this guy. I think he has an ulterior motive, but I'm not positive. I don't know. I mean, it's hard to say. Renee, what's going on with you?
Hi, yeah. My son had an accident early Saturday morning across from Johnson's Corner in 5 o'clock in the morning at Hit and Run.
Oh.
And, yeah, so he was left there. I mean, he wasn't injured, but the car is pretty well towed. He has insurance with Geico, and they just came back and gave him total price or whatever.
What kind of car is it?
It's a 2016 Nissan Versa.
And how many miles are on this Versa?
About 40,000.
Okay. So let me guess. How much are they offering them?
I think 82 or 83.
Okay, hold on. I think I know where this is going, Renee. I promise I'll pick up on you first. Hold tight. Maybe we can help you out. We got to see if that's a fair offer, but I have a feeling the loan is going to be higher than what they're offering. 303-713-8255. We've got a lot going on. Jim, Darren, Daniel, hold tight. We'll be back.
What tree people do in the winter. So last February, that's one of the trees that they took out of our new house.
Oh my God! How much did that cost you?
I think we spent around $8,000.
Why wouldn't they cut it down?
That was just a part of it.
Oh, that's just a part
They
of
were
it.
humongous cottonwoods.
Oh, cotton.
Oh man! Plus
There were 2 huge
So
ones.
they were doing this in your yard, weren't they? Were the roots growing out of the yard?
No, it's just that they were dead, and neighbors were worried about them falling into their fence. And I think it was like 8. We had some estimates clear up to like $12,000.
How tall was one of them? I mean, these 100-footers?
Oh, I'm sure over. They were.
City of Greenwood Village just drove through all of Greenwood Village and told everybody that had dead trees they had to.
Absolutely. You have a dead tree. There's no.
I've got one dead tree, but it's 4 feet tall. This little apple tree was so cute. I don't know why it's dead.
Oh, you know, they're very. We had an apple orchard in our backyard.
I should have gave it DE.
We had 8 apple trees. We lost 2 during a storm, but then after our house burnt down, the landscaper talked me into getting rid of them because they were so old and gnarly.
Wow.
No, seriously, DE, I've heard that before in animals and stuff too. I was going to ask her how much
I have to
she
look up
puts
this
in
stuff.
there.
What's this?
Remember,
Diatomaceous earth.
I brought it to Hawaii with me and sprayed all the beds when we first got in.
Supposed to say, I'd say.
And sprayed the outside of my luggage.
I don't know if I fall for it.
Those Japanese beetles?
Oh,
I put
yeah.
it on my plants and killed the Japanese beetles.
What?
Yep.
The
They
diatomaceous
went
earth.
like this. They just.
It takes a little. I mean, it doesn't kill them, boom, like that. But
No, but if you put so take a flea
So why does it
and pour 8
kill
pounds of
everything
anything
else it
on it.
kills?
I'm sorry.
Why does it like? help humans, makes you healthier, but everything else it kills off.
Well, like I say,
How does it know? Well, this is a person. Don't destroy.
No, you can read the stuff on.
Yeah, I'm gonna read it.
Dan's actually 112.
Yeah.
Look at
Look at me.
It's all DE. Or actually, no, wait.
So but you got.
Dan's actually 24.
You got to get the food grade. So I used to use diatomaceous with my pool in Sacramento and stuff for filters.
There's food grade. You have to make sure you get food grade for the one you're going to eat. Because the one that you use outside
body is dirt.
What do you think it does
to
you?
You know, okay, so right when we started taking it, I saw that TV show with Will Smith talks about it. It's like this great big circle or something like the planet we live on, I don't know, something like that. And the very first one was about diatoms and how they're really made and how oxygen is made. And it was very interesting, and it goes through this whole big deal. People think that we get oxygen from like the forest. Well, the Amazon makes just enough oxygen to support the Amazon, like that. So oxygen is actually.
So what is the Sahara Desert? How do they do it?
It's the diatoms. It's the ocean, and these diatoms, when there rains, it like activates them, and then they release oxygen, and then they die, and their shell, the diatom shell, floats to the bottom, and it's really, really, really deep, of course, in the ocean. You can also get it from rivers. It's the same thing.
What did they offer?
What do you think that's for you?
85?
They're like scrubbing.
Well, they got an argument.
Seriously,
Oh, maybe that's
into
after
your body.
Well, after deductible, and then just the standard
it's where all
options. I use 40,000 miles.
Have you noticed any?
What did she say for miles?
So I did
40,000.
it for a while. I kind of stopped, and I got sick.
It must be a cheap old
So
car.
now I'm back on it and really taking it and being very consistent with it.
There's a lot of them.
So when I first started taking it, I felt like
it
just felt like I could think.
Yeah, but it could be salvaged.
Yeah. Really? Yeah. So I take it every day in my coffee.
Does it have a taste to it?
A little bit. It kind of tastes.
I guess maybe chalky a little bit.
Right, exactly. But you got to keep stirring it too, otherwise
coffee until it.
Yeah. And they harvest most of it from the ocean?
Well,
you can do ocean or rivers. So
no.
there's fresh water.
Well, they mine it. They don't get it from the water and stuff. I mean, they mine it because it's all the dead ones. Like Bakersfield's got a bunch of them.
Yeah, even where there used to be oceans.
Right.
There's.
Right.
And then they clean it and filter it.
But you know what I see? Your nails grow faster and they get harder. That's what I've really noticed.
Really?
They also say your hair is supposed to do it too. But I've never.
Hold up, guys.
You don't notice anything.
All right, this is important. Do not be fooled by these words in any circumstance. We accept liability. That's what the other insurance company of the person that's liable will most likely say to disarm you. We accept liability. That doesn't mean they're going to pay everything. That doesn't mean they're going to pay all their damages. You know, sometimes visibly serious injuries can occur, and they're easy to deal with. But how about when they're not that visible, but they're long-term? They change the way you work. They change your life for good. You need a personal injury attorney that will fight their butt off for you. And I found the guy. We used the guy. We had some lady T-bone us, and he got us exactly what their insurance was. Listen to what I'm saying. He got us policy limits. His name is John Fuller, and he's the best out there. But don't be fooled by the other insurance companies. That's the number one thing he'll tell you. 303-597-4500. John R. Fuller. If you're hurt in an accident, you call him. 303-597-4500.
Coloradans 62 and older, are you not feeling as financially secure as you'd like to? Is cash flow...
I'd rather do them in the break. Does it matter, though? It's up to you.
And do you own your own home? Then consider a reverse mortgage from American Financing. Reverse mortgages are loans that pay you monthly by using...
Now I should start giving to my dogs. Not that he has parasites.
Yeah, you know, I think I'm going to start giving it to my cat. I'm also going to start giving my cat...
But cats are fussier.
My new cat,
God, are you guys still talking about DE?
Yeah,
coconut oil because he's a black cat and he doesn't shed, but you can see the dandruff because of it. So I think the coconut oil, taking it internally, is really going to help him.
I'm thinking of getting for dogs. It's not cannabis, but with the oils, the
CBD.
Yes. I met a lady at the vet's office that was saying she was doing that.
For your dogs?
Yeah, yeah.
For what reason?
I think it was an arthritis kind of thing.
So I do Protandim, and they have one for animals.
Is that a CBD?
Welcome to the show, the only show of its kind. We're here to solve problems, answer questions, take complaints, get directly involved in your life, try to help, try to recover dollars for you. You've been ripped off or taken advantage of. Maybe you have a question about an eviction. It really doesn't matter. And if we can't answer the question, you know, Tom and I have a list of people at referrallist.com. They're absolutely amazing people, made up of contractors and attorneys and doctors and pretty much you name it. It's crazy. If you haven't visited referrallist.com, you got to check it out. They're background checked. The one thing I hear all the time is what makes it different. I'll tell you what. We have what we call our code of ethics, and they agree to it. Simple as that. They sign on the dotted line our code of ethics. 303-713-8255 is a phone number. Bonnie Shields in studio with me. Bonnie, a couple things real quick. Can a 17-year-old emancipate themselves in Colorado? Is there emancipation?
I think I've never done one, but I think there's a process for it.
There's a process you can go through, and then you would technically, seriously be an adult.
Yes.
See, that's so odd. I wonder, I don't know. I guess if your parents weren't letting you do something and you could support yourself, I would guess you have to prove to somebody that you can support yourself.
That's my understanding is the big thing is you have to be able to prove to the court that you can support yourself.
That's crazy.
You don't hear about it very much.
Any family law questions we have? 303-713-8255 or 303-Martino. Renee, I'm going to come right back to you on that trade-in, but I want to take care of this last comment on bed bugs. Daniel, what say you?
Hey, buddy. I think that people like that guy, they don't realize there's thousands of people listening, and I think he's a joke. I think he's got something up his sleeve.
You mean he's trying to get out of the lease for other reasons?
Yeah, I mean, who knows if it's, I don't think it's necessarily devious, but look at the order in which he categorized the information that he fed you. First he had pneumonia, so there's the pity part of this poor guy's a victim. And he's been in 2 years.
The poor guy does have pneumonia.
Well, I know, but come on, we all got something wrong. But
you're tough.
I mean, 2 years.
People say I'm tough, Daniel. You're killing it.
He can't wait 3 more months, and then his biggest concern was the quality of his referral.
Well, Daniel, have you ever lived with bed bugs? It sounds
I was in the Marine Corps for 10
terrible.
years. I was married to thousands of them.
He said he was in the Marine Corps for years.
Yeah, they're tragic. They ruin
Daniel,
your
are
day.
you trying to tell me? Hold on a second. I gotta dial you in on something. Are you trying to tell you? Do you think he was trying to slip one past me? Is that what you're saying? You don't think I picked up on what he was doing?
Mark's getting soft.
I thought he was going to call. He thought he was going to call, and you guys were going to. He's going to be like sicking the dogs on these people to get him out with his list of mold and all this other crap that he's been living with, and suddenly can't for 3 more months.
It's got raccoons in there too.
Yeah, I mean, come on, man. I mean, he's only got 3 months to go. Common sense, anybody would just say, look, ride the 3 months out.
Now, Daniel, I'm going to do this. Darren is still up with the bed bugs problem. Darren, what do you have to say to Daniel after that? That was extreme.
Yeah, that was something. And, you know, and you can check the email that I sent you. I simply contacted you guys to find out if you guys thought I had a legitimate reason to get out of my lease.
No, and I told you I don't,
then that's fine.
Darren, I was very straightforward on that. I don't think you do. We're going to try to get in touch with that landlord and get the bed bugs taken care of and possibly that mold. But what do you have to say to Daniel after that? That was crazy. Daniel, I think you're a little tough on this guy, man.
I think he's in Colorado. He needs to grab his bootstraps and get back to work, man.
I sent you the pictures of his tub, Mark.
Oh, you did?
Yes.
Let's get those up on there. Well, I mean, I don't...
Why wait 2 years?
Darren, I just wanted to give you a chance to go off on Daniel like he's going off on you, that's all.
Well, you know, the thing about it is he's not living in my situation.
I know he's not. That's right.
I've lost, I'm on bed number 4. I've lost a recliner. I've lost a full-size couch.
Yeah.
I've slept on the floor. I've slept on air mattresses.
Oh, no.
I've been through the ringer with this.
That's horrible.
I just can't imagine.
But why not start something a year ago, 18 months ago, as these things were developing?
Yeah, he has been working with it a little. I was hoping you guys, honest to God, I was hoping you guys would scream at each other better. So I'm going to put you both on hold, move to the next call. But honestly, that was a little scathing. I mean, he was like, hey, I was married to him in the Marines. But, Darren, we got that picture. What does that picture look like, Dan? I don't have it up here. I mean, is it bad? What are we talking about?
No, it's there's a little bit on there, but yeah.
It's
our like
typical,
an old shower that hasn't, the grout hasn't been cleaned. That's what it looks like.
Yep, I agree.
Darren, that's the typical picture we get when it comes to mold. So listen, in all seriousness, man, I think you're going to end up with them keeping the deposit if you don't go through it properly. And I think if you do go through it properly, I don't think it's going to come to the extent of a constructive eviction. I don't think a judge is going to see it that way, but I'm not an attorney. You can reach out and talk to an attorney on it, but it's going to cost you money to do, man.
Yeah, no, that's the whole...
And if they're trying to make... Here's the other thing. If they're trying to make an attempt, that's a good thing. So Daphne's already got a call in. They called us back already once. They had to get a little more information. Hopefully they're going to get in there and get it taken care of. But honestly, now that I have you here and that other guy's off, is there another reason you want out? No one knows who you are. I mean, is there another reason you want out of there? Actually, I'm going to take that. I don't even want you to answer that, Darren, because we're already in contact with him. So... that would be crazy. I'd be hurting his own case.
I can answer that.
Answer it, sir.
The answer to that question is the quality of life that I've put up with
sucks
since I've been here, and I've been promised that from the very first treatment that it was guaranteed and it was going to be taken care of.
I got you.
And
it's a nightmare.
You know, it's not getting solved, and I'm out furniture. And it's just been a nightmare for me.
Yep, I got you.
So that's a question. Could he, Mark, take them to small claims court to get the money back for the bed, for the recliner?
Probably
up to $75.
He can take him to small claims court for whatever he wants for the most part, but that doesn't mean he's going to win.
Well, I was asking you because you're like the champion.
I, honest to God, don't think he'd win. I can't imagine what the argument would be. The biggest problem would be, Daphne, is they're going to say he is the cause of the bed bugs. We get rid of him, you bring him back in. How's he ever going to prove it either way? That's what it comes down to. So that's really it. But Darren, let's free Darren up. We have all the information. We're in touch with the apartment complex. Dan, what'd you make of that guy real quick that called up with that scathing?
Daniel? Well, he's a common sense guy that doesn't put up with stuff.
I always wonder about that. How many people, when they listen and they think, I don't care if it's a homeless person. We've had homeless people call looking for a car, claiming they had a job, they were going to lose a job. We find out they never even had a license. We hear it all. But how do you think people took Darren? Was it just him that came off that way? Or I'd like to know what people thought about that call. I always wonder in the background. Yeah, it's weird.
Or if anybody else in the complex is having the same issue, call us.
Well, that always helps, too. Okay, Renee, thank you for holding there. So your son was involved in a hit-and-run last weekend. And
Saturday. Mm-hmm.
Yep. So they offered you $8,500. What vehicle was it again, Dan?
It was a 2016 Nissan Versa.
With like 40,000.
Right.
Sedan?
Is it a sedan?
Is it a sedan or two-door?
Yeah, it's a sedan, yeah.
Okay. I see 95, 10,000.
Yeah, they're showing it should be 95, 10,000. You said they offered them 8,500. Did they tell you what they were deducting for or what?
Yeah, they have 15 pages of.
But give me an idea of one of the deductions.
I don't know. I'm sorry.
No, that's all right. You can send us that paperwork, right?
Yeah, I could, yes.
See, here's the deal, which is great. We need to look at it, and if we can help you, you will. Was I correct in my assumption that more is owed on the car?
Oh, yeah, definitely. He owes about 11,800, something, almost 12,000 on it.
You didn't happen to have gap insurance, did you?
You know what? I don't know. I remember when he first got it that they were talking about it. I don't think so.
If you got gap insurance, that would cover that gap, regardless of what it is. Well, that's not true.
Really?
Only
Okay.
only to a percentage, so you need to look into that first. The other thing is, if it's not a reasonable offer, you should get more. If that vehicle is literally worth $95,000 or $10,000, and you're going to have to do some research, that's what they owe you. They do not owe you what the loan is. End of story.
No, I understand that. Yeah, I do know that.
Let's do this. I'm pretty good at this. Why don't you email us what they're sending? They should have given you something that basically has a base price and then pluses and minuses, how they got to that 8,500.
I did see that, but there was like 15 pages of this.
I wonder why there's 15 pages.
Yeah,
that's weird. I mean, I've never seen one that long. But get that, who's the insurance company?
Geico.
You know what? They're not horrible. I mean, they're definitely not the best. They fight like every other insurance company.
Right.
So
do we have to take, my question is, do we have to take what they offer?
No.
Or can we say no?
No, you can negotiate. You've got a couple good things here. One, you got to negotiate, and if they truly, truly don't offer you fair value what that vehicle is, not what you think it's worth, but what it's actually worth, they could be in big trouble. I mean, that's not a good thing for an insurance company. That's called bad faith.
Okay.
Renee, have we helped you with grandson issues in the past?
No.
No?
No, you haven't. No.
I don't know. Who do you think that was, Suzanne?
Remember the grandma who was calling about her grandson a few times, and we ended up having to call the police to do a welfare check on her a couple years ago? She just kind of sounded like her.
Got it. No, that's not her.
No, it wasn't me.
Well, be happy it wasn't you, because that was a nightmare.
No, this is enough trouble. I don't need any more.
So, Renee, here's the deal. I'm going to put you on hold. You need to get me that information over there, and I'll look at it, and let's figure out what's fair and what's not fair, okay?
Thank you. Thank you.
You're very welcome. Hold tight so Suzanne can get that, 303-713-8255. Once again, some topics blow me away. Bed bugs again. Everybody's got a cure for bed bugs. It's crazy. Bonnie Shields, do you have a cure for bed bugs?
I don't.
I don't either.
You can eat dirt, like these guys around here do.
Salt.
Sprinkle the dirt around you, salt and baking soda, of course.
It's an amazing thing. I never heard of these home remedies. My understanding with bed bugs was pretty simple. If the place is infested, the way that really works aren't these bombs in the fog. They're basically high heaters that cook everything. That was my understanding. I don't know how correct that is.
I don't see how that would solve it if you just put something around a perimeter. What about all the bed bugs in the middle?
Yeah, where do you sprinkle salt in your
the carpet? Exactly.
And then what do you think about this DE, this what is it, diatomaceous?
Diatomaceous earth.
So it kills everything, if we've learned. I mean, literally.
I knew nothing about it before I walked in today, so I'm getting educated.
And all these people take it. I find this...
It's amazing.
I find it
none of us have bed bugs.
That's true. That's true. You guys...
I might have one. Ha ha.
She's a funny, funny woman. I married her for her humor. Sharon, go ahead with your bed bug problem, please.
Hello, Tom. Yeah, I had bed bugs once from a blanket that was brought in, and I had them come out and spray, but then I went online and I found this organic powder that strips the bed bug of its coating and kills them.
What is it?
It's DE.
You just have to go online, organic bed bugs, whatever.
It's diatomaceous earth.
Yeah.
So do you guys understand now? Now, I even like this better. So she sprinkles DE onto these things, and it dissolves their shell. You guys are actually ingesting it. Don't you think it'll kill you from the inside out?
We don't have any shells there.
and there's a food grade and then
Sharon,
commercial grade.
You didn't happen to eat it, did you?
No, but you can. It says that you can.
That's it. It's the same stuff. Thank you. I appreciate you calling in, Sharon. 303-713-8255. Advertising on car for money. I'm not quite sure what that means, but we'll find out. Nancy, give me a quick scenario on your question.
Yes, I got a message. It said earn $500 a week, 16 weeks minimum. No, 16 weeks total, 8 weeks minimum. Put this vinyl advertisement on the outside of my car, advertising Monster energy drink.
Oh, like a wrap. Hold on a second. That's curious. I thought this was going somewhere else, but hold on. I've got a lot of questions. 303? Actually, I won't even give it out. We have lines full. You know, David Salisbury, this second, Well, I say this second. If he's back from vacation, he's working on our trust. You know, wills, trust, probate. If you need an attorney that knows what he's doing, you call David Salisbury. He does flat rate. If you need a will, a simple will, he'll give you a flat rate price. He'll basically interview you for a few minutes or maybe even an hour, depending on what you need done, at no cost, and then you'll come back and say, okay, for your simple will, it's this much. Okay, for me to create a trust, it's this much. It just, he's that basic. He's not going to charge you $300 an hour, $100 an hour. He's a flat fee. Call him up, get an estimate, and if you need anybody or help with probate or special needs trust, he is the best. Wills, Trust, Probate, David Salisbury, 720-493-3911, 720-493-3911.
This report is sponsored by Blue Emu.
According to CDOT, that crap. Didn't mispronounce all the names. Like Sharon for Sharon.
My Sharona. You know what that song's about?
My Sharona.
You know what that song's about, right?
We don't know for sure.
It's about her losing her.
Is it?
Southbound E470 remains closed at 120th. Well, you're being taken on and off the highway at that spot. Crews still investigating that multi-vehicle crash. The weather forecast: sunny today with a high of 51. Right now, a few clouds.
So
47.
That's Nature's Earth is getting out there quite a bit.
It is.
And I've heard that, you know, I've read that if you look at it for chickens, because chickens have a lot of parasites.
Available at retailers nationwide.
Did you know you could be paying up to 80% less for your family's medications? How? With GoodRx.
Oh, man, that racquetball boy moves some more muscles.
I know, my shoulder's sore. 5 games is too much.
No.
What? You don't think so?
I think it was how long was it? Really, that's what matters.
Yeah.
Technically, what do we pay for, an hour?
You know what? That's a great question. I think you could play there all day.
Yeah, I think so. What I might do is,
I think you should do it.
I don't know if I'm going to do that part. I definitely want what we're doing right now for sure. I'd even go 2 days a week, but the problem with that is you've got that coming up.
I think you'd get a big round just playing other people.
Okay, hold on.
GoodRx.com today. That's GoodRx.com. Save today with GoodRx.com. GoodRx is not insurance. Savings based upon retail price of medication without insurance.
Hey, with rates at 4.5%, Ideal Home Loans is a call you need to make right now. Listen, they were artificially low for a while. I mean, rates were really low, the 3%, whatever. I personally don't think we're going to see that for a long, long, long time. But if they do go down and you buy a new house or refinance with Ideal Home Loans, they have a guarantee. They will refi at the lower rate with no lender charges whatsoever. These guys are the best. They have custom term mortgages. Listen to this. Let's say you're in a 30 right now and you're 15 years into it. You might want to turn around and get into a 15, pay the house off quicker, pay a lot less in interest as well. Credit card debt, that's a no-brainer. 18 to 23% credit card debt. They can refi you with cash out to pay all that off at 4.5%. Get your Ideal Home Loan and get it quick. 303-867-7000. 303-867-7000 for your Ideal Home Loan.
What makes downtown's healthcare different? Cutting-edge treatments using stem cells.
You're done, right? I just got one more in-house. Bonnie, what do you want to talk? Give me a talking point. Divorce?
Give me a second and I'll write you a note.
Adoption, child custody, divorce, living together.
Oh my
Divorce
God.
without a divorce.
Common law marriage. I have 3 of them right now. They're
Do you really?
freaking nightmare. The things that people do are screwing them up.
So I'm talking to Bonnie Shields on the break, and she brought up common law marriage. What exactly is that? I mean, I have a good idea, but explain to people, if Suzanne and I have been married over 25 years, but 2 people living together for 3 years. Are they married, Bonnie?
Under Colorado law, there are certain things that if you do, they just kind of create a marriage. There's not necessarily even a wedding date or anything like that. And it's a really dangerous thing. I have 3 common law cases now, and they're pretty rare. But
you've got 3?
Yes, and there's no statute that says if you do this and this and this, you're common law married. It's a combination of things. So the main case on it says you have to do 2 things. 1, cohabitation, and 2, you put yourself out to the public as being married.
Oh, so if Suzanne and I live together, as an example, it doesn't even matter how long, but if we go to a neighbor's party, if everybody thinks we're married because we tell people we are.
Right, it's things like introducing as husband and wife, filing joint tax returns.
That's a big one.
On a credit card application, do you say that you're, married? The one that's been coming up a lot lately is, for me anyway, is people will fill out a document, like an affidavit saying, yes, we're common law married, so they can get the other person on their health insurance.
Oh.
But then they live their life as if they're single. They file their own tax returns, and so they're giving mixed messages out there, and that's where it gets really rough in court, is there are things you've put yourself out there as being married, and there are things where you've clearly put out that you're not married. And the court has to make a determination. It makes a big difference when you break up. It makes a huge difference because if you're married, someone can get part of your retirement. They can get alimony.
Lots of
all
stuff.
Those things. So
they get half.
You have to be really, really careful what legal documents like tax returns and health insurance applications that you fill out.
Well, okay, then it begs the question. You hold yourself out there, joint tax returns, pretty much you're married. Now, what happens if you want to get divorced? Do you literally have to go through a divorce procedure? Or if you're separated long enough, do you automatically hold yourself out as divorced? Does it work the same way?
No. If you have done something to make yourself married by common law in Colorado,
you're married.
If you split up, you're married. It's the same thing. You can go have a big wedding, or you can just start introducing someone as your husband or wife, file joint tax returns. The problem comes in when people do some of each, and then when they break up, one of them wants a marriage and one of them doesn't.
Yeah.
And that's when
and those
it
are
gets
what
tough.
you're dealing with right now.
Yeah, it's really, really tough.
That would be tough because all of a sudden we were never married. Oh, yes, we were.
Don't sign a legal document saying you're married if you really don't mean that you're married. Don't do it.
Man. All right, Nancy, let's get back to you. You got an offer for $500 a week, right? Or was it $500 a month to drive around with Monster?
Week. Yes.
$500 a week. So what, do you have to send them any money? Do you have to pay?
No, they asked for my name and email and
how did they contact you?
By a message on my phone. It says Gmail, but it didn't come in through my Gmail.
Well, if it says, okay, but regardless, they reached out to you. Can you read me exactly what it says, or is it very long?
It says 123formbuilder.com. Monster Energy Drink. I have this written down because
you just got to send it to me. But listen, if they're not asking for anything at all, so how are they going to put the wrap on, or you have no idea?
They said that someone would come out and put it on for me.
Okay, and no charge?
No.
And then how do you get paid?
They said cashier's check.
Here's what you got to do. I just got to see the actual agreement. Not just what they sent you, but what they are going to probably want you to sign when they put that wrap on. Honestly, I don't believe a word of it. It's possible, and the only reason I say it's possible is because that is a big company, and I've seen these things driving around with Red Bull and Monsters and other things, and I'm not quite sure which ones are valid and which ones aren't. The one thing I have a tough time believing is $500 a week.
That's a lot.
Can you forward that to us? Can you forward that to help@troubleshooter.com right now?
Okay.
Can you do that? Or is it if it's a text, do you know how to forward that?
It's a monster, it's a message on my phone, but it's not on the email.
Can you forward it to us? Okay, hold on a second.
I'll try.
Yeah, let's figure this out, but I don't want you to do anything till we look at it because I don't like the smell of it, to be honest. That's a lot of money.
Okay.
All right?
Yeah.
Hold tight. Dan, can you talk to her off air and see if possibly you can figure out how we can get a hold of that message.
Sure.
I don't know what she means by messaging, but then she said Gmail and it's not a text. Let's see if we can't figure that out. Jim, you have a kudos to a pet food company. I'm not quite sure what to make of that.
Well, sir, I do. Hi, Tom. Or Mark, excuse me. I dealt with a company called Chewy.com.
What is it? True what?
Chewy, Chewy.
Oh, I think I heard of them. They ship dog food monthly, stuff like that.
Absolutely. And I called them a couple of days ago and I ordered a couple pretty big items. One of them was a dog bed. It was about $57. Shipping's free. The dog bed got here, and oh my gosh, I ordered the wrong size.
Okay.
So I called them this morning. No problem. They charged me another $6 for the next bigger size. And when I asked them, how do I return the one that they sent, they said, no, don't return it. We'd just like to have you donate it to a local shelter.
Oh, wow, that is a great deal. You know, I've wondered.
Is that unbelievable?
It is unbelievable, and you're going to make me tell a story. It's got nothing to do with that company, but, man, I like Walmart, so don't get me wrong. I do like Walmart. I've shopped at Walmart way before they went online. They're trying to compete directly with Amazon on their 2-day shipping. They don't charge for a membership like Amazon does. Here's what I've recognized over the past 3 months where I've tried to wean off Amazon and get onto Walmart. 1, 2-day shipping doesn't seem to ever happen. It really doesn't. I don't know why. It just never seems. It's generally 3 days. Is that a big killer? On most items, it's not. But this is the part that blew me away. Walmart shipped me. We ordered a... God, I really got to remember this. We ordered... It wasn't a coffee maker. We ordered something like a coffee maker, and it was supposed to show up in 3 days. What we ended up getting was a box of dishes that had to be the size of a gigantic microwave. Huge, heavy thing of dishes. So they literally sent the wrong item. So I call up and I'm like, hey, we didn't even get the coffee maker. We've got this massive, massive thing of dishes. They wanted me to bring it up to the Walmart to return it. And I'm thinking, geez, if this was Amazon, they'd just send UPS out and pick it up. So that's what I ended up doing. I ended up literally having to bring it back, so it's not as convenient as Amazon. They seem to be late. But, man, I love Walmart. Have you used them at all, Dan?
Just one time I had online and stuff, and it came
no
good.
Problems?
No problems at all.
Yeah, God, people get so addicted to Amazon. Plus, Amazon throws in that TV.
Right.
But I say
easy.
that they're $120 a month now, or $120 a year now, though.
But you get videos and...
Do you watch them?
Yeah, I do.
Do you? I've watched a couple of their shows. They're not bad. Anyhow, I digress. 303-713-8255. 303-713-8255. For the first time today, we got lines open. Any questions on family law? And then, Bonnie, think of some cool stuff to talk about on family law. We'll take a quick break. I do want to tell you about Joan Sullivan in Approval Reverse Mortgage. She was in studio last week. She is a wonderful woman. If you have elderly parents or if you're over 62 and you want to find out if a reverse mortgage is good for you, you call her. You call Joan Sullivan, and her company is Approval Reverse. In fact, it's approvalreverse.com. But give her a call. She'll tell you if a reverse mortgage is right for you. If you have an existing mortgage, you might be able to get rid of that payment and still have a line of credit that grows every single year. 303-771-3528. 303-771-3528. approvalreverse.com.
This is Denver's Talk Station.
Up, Nancy.
Looking like a natural up there.
What?
Nancy Pelosi back as Speaker of the House.
Oh.
She really... I don't know if that's a good job or not. Boy.
I gotta tell you, I'm not very good at my politics. It's not very well informed.
Well, you know, Marcus was talking about that before you come here too. It's so divisive now. You actually can be in a better mood if you don't listen to stuff.
I was talking to a friend the other night. I'm like, you know, if I would really like to know more of what's going on. But where do you look? When I was a kid, you turned on ABC or NBC. I mean, and that was like the news, fairly unbiased. And now everybody's like, oh, well, if you conservatives got to watch the Fox, and then the other things are all nothing but a bunch of flaming liberals.
I agree.
How do you? I mean,
Where do you get it?
Where do you get the facts?
I agree.
I mean, really.
Just like on Syria, what do you hear about Syria? It's good. So I called up a friend of mine from Syria, and he just gotten back. And, this is after Trump said he's going to pull out. He said over there, he says, you know what? He says the Syrian people don't like Americans that well. I mean, because they're thinking complicated and everything. And you don't hear things,
So do they want us out?
And I'm sure it's the people you talk to. But it's, you've got the rebels, you've got Assad, and you got ISIS. So it's really, of course, everybody's trying to get rid of ISIS, and then you got all the Kurds there and stuff. What's going to happen to them, and who's going to protect them? I mean, you don't know. And everybody tries to spin something, I think, a little different, right? Everybody's got a little bit of spin in the game.
You know what? In the legal field, we file everything electronically.
Mm-hmm.
Certain kinds of cases do, and certain kinds don't. And for family law, we file them all electronically. Well, the system for filing, the initials are IESS.
Oh.
IECCES.
Oh, okay.
And so, for years, we just always,
You call it ISIS?
Yeah, I'm going to file that on ISIS this afternoon, that sort of thing. And a couple of years ago, they changed it. And I still refer to it as ISIS because I don't know what the new one is.
She voted
They changed it somehow.
She's sitting there. She's sitting in the big chair. No, you don't know, but I do get. I've heard of other people, just like you said earlier, Mark, is they just quit doing the news and they get
quit doing what?
Quit listen to the news all the time and everything, and they just get in a better mood. Because, like I say, I don't think anybody listens to it and thinks it's all true, no matter what side it's on. But it's depressing.
Oh, it's horrible.
It is. It's depressing.
Maybe we should talk about fathers' rights.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Getting you one step closer to a customized competitive rate mortgage.
I can't believe people who aren't married.
How about paternity, too?
Yeah, well, I don't think deal a whole lot with that.
What happens, all right, I'll just ask you on there if you don't know, but basically I always wonder about stuff like, my son gets someone pregnant, and she doesn't want the baby, but he does.
Ooh.
Does he have any rights in that circumstance, or the woman has all the rights?
No, it's not that way at all now.
So the woman...
They can force her not to have an abortion?
No, they can force her...
Oh, now
That's what he's asking, I think, right?
That I don't know. After that baby's born, though.
Right.
His rights are the same as hers.
Right.
Okay. All right, 303-713-8255. Suzanne sent me this monster thing. I'm curious. $500 a week in order to have your vehicle wrapped. Generally speaking, if there's any kind of payment they want made. You know what I'm going to do, though? I'm going to end up reading this. This is more convoluted than I thought. I'm going to end up reading this during the next break.
And Mark?
Yeah.
Moses from Peak View Remodeling, he sent us a link on this stuff, and it looks like it's a scam. I forwarded it to you.
Most of it, that's just $500 a week, I can't imagine. But we'll read through this. Actually, real quick, Trish has a comment on it. Trish, go ahead.
Yeah, hang on just a second.
Okay, I'll hang on. Sweet.
All righty, I took you off the speaker.
So what's going on, Trish?
Yeah, my roommate and I got hooked up with that as well.
Okay.
And an very official looking letter.
Sure. Was yours Monster as well?
No, we were Dr. Pepper.
Oh, okay. So they're going after the beverage companies, but keep going.
And very official looking letter, and we got a cashier's check for
whatever.
For whatever.
Let me guess. You deposited it, and then they wanted you to send some money back.
We deposited it. We put it in a separate account. We decided and the bank advised that as well, to make it an account all on its own.
So you deposited the money, then what?
And then they asked us to send so much back to them to have the car wrapped.
I got
But we were to keep $500.
How much did they send you initially, by the way? $1,000?
How much was it, Corey? $2,400.
So they send you $2,400. Then after you deposit the check and everything looks good, they say, hey, okay, now it's time to have the car wrapped. So you send us back. We sent you all the money. Now you send us back $1,900.
Right.
Yeah, and then, of course, that was
And
that.
then-
How long
and
did
then-
it take for the bank to realize that it was phony
It
baloney?
was within a half hour.
Yeah, that was pretty good, within a half hour.
It was within the half hour, and we just made an abrupt U-turn, headed back to Walmart, and they didn't. Yeah, and they hesitated. They didn't send it off right away, and we got our money back and got that back to the bank. And we ended up having to pay the bank
overdraft
back.
fees, yeah.
What? Yeah.
All right, well, Trish, I appreciate that. And then we also had one of our referral list members, Moses, call up, say the same thing. So we need to tell that woman for sure that definitely a scam. I'll still read through this, but just even this opening part, it looks like a scam.
Yeah, anytime you send money back, that's where they get you.
But the way they did it's a little tricky. They didn't even say that yet. In other words,
for her, yeah.
Well, I'm sure it's the exact same thing. It's got to be. All right, we've got a question for Bonnie. Go ahead, Dan.
Yeah, so I was served papers about a week and a half ago from my girlfriend, who we're still together, for child custody. She wants on paper that she wants my son 100%.
And don't you guys live together?
We don't live together, no.
So
but we're cordial. We spend New Year's together. We spend Christmas together. If you've seen us, you would say, why did she even file papers?
So she put in the paperwork that she wants to have your son 100% of the time?
Yes, and with her making all the decisions. And even now, she says, the whole thing is, she said that he's unsafe with me because she thinks that I'm going to take him to a bar. Well, I'm not an alcoholic. I'm not being tried for a DUI or anything.
Why would she think
bar
that?
And have drinks sometimes, but I don't drink and drive, and I don't have my children with me when I do.
Well, Dan, let me calm your mind just a little bit. The chances of her getting what she's asking for, unless you're a criminal, a pedophile, really dangerous, drugs, alcoholic, if none of those are accurate, her chances, that's a little snowball's chance, and you know what, of her ever getting that.
But she needs, he probably needs an attorney, though, right?
Yeah, you're going to obviously need to go to court and to fight that. But these days, Mark and I were talking off the air a little bit about father's rights, and these days, really the judges, unless the child's an infant, the 50-50 is the way more common way that judges go, unless there's a real reason to do something different than that. How old's your child?
He's going to be 3 in July.
Okay. So, this is not going to go down like she wants. And this whole decision-making thing, unless there's really something terribly wrong with with one parent, it's going to be joint decision-making, and that's just how it is.
But I find this hard to believe it just came out of the blue, though. You must have known something was coming, Dan.
The whole reason that she did it was because we had gotten into a fight, and I said, well, I'm going to come pick up my son. And she said, no, you're not. And I said, well, then I'm going to go file papers. That's all I said. If I was mad, I didn't mean it. I wasn't going to do it. And so she just beat me to the punch. But this all stems from me going on a Friday after work and just having a few drinks every week. That's it.
Yeah, I call them like I see them. I think there's more to it. No offense, Dan, but, you telling her I'm going to rush off and serve papers, I'm going to come pick up the kids, and, something in the relationship has broken down, man.
There's some fear there.
You know what? I will tell you, truthfully, I have been verbally abusive with her, but that's about the worst of it, and it's not even that bad.
Right. It sounds to me like she got afraid that you might not bring him back because you didn't have to bring him back?
No,
because there's no court orders in place.
We live within 5 miles of each other, and she knows my background and my family.
You must have threatened or something.
He just said he verbally abused her. What's an idea of verbally abuse in your opinion?
I would call her a B word, and that's about the worst of it.
I don't know.
Nothing else. Nothing like, hey, I'm going to come get you, and you better be ready, or nothing like that.
No, but I'm going to come get my kid, and I'm going to serve you with papers.
No, never.
That you just said you said that.
Well, what I meant was, if I said that, I apologize. What I meant was, can I take him? She'd say no. And I would say, okay, well, I'm going to go file papers so we don't have to go through with this anymore.
Dan, you better hire an attorney.
Yeah, this is a good thing she filed paperwork, because now you'll get a court order that says when you do get to have your son, and she doesn't get to play games anymore.
And I assure you,
she's playing games.
I'm putting him on hold. If he shows up without an attorney and tells a judge like he just did there, well, I'm verbally abusive, I call her the B word, and I threaten to serve her with papers, and it all stems from a trip to the bar on a Friday.
Yes.
He better get an attorney.
That would be helpful.
I mean, honest to God, Bonnie, would that not bury him? And I'm saying this for your own sake, Dan. I know you're still listening. I mean, if you showed up and told a judge everything he just said, or, God's sake, if they played this and listened to this phone call, how would that be taken?
That would not be helpful to him getting what it is he wants.
I like that. It won't be helpful. It'll hinder the circumstance. It will not help.
It will not get you where you want to be going.
Geez, I'll ask him one more time. Dan, I'm trying to give you some protection. Show up with an attorney. Don't mess around, all right?
Sure, yeah.
All right, have a good day, man. You get a lot of calls like that, Bonnie. I mean, day in, day out. I mean, do you get a lot? What is your typical call that comes in? Hold on, let's take a quick break. But I want to know, like, when your phone rings, is it typically divorce? Is it child custody? Is it like that? I just got served with papers. I'm calling around attorneys. I want to find out.
This report is sponsored.
God, that guy was a nut.
I'll tell you what it is. My grandpa listens to you on the Tom Martino show and said I needed to call you. Or my dad listens to me on the Tom Martino show.
Really?
And guess who's paying the legal fees? Dad or grandpa. If I get a call from somebody that's really young, it's because, almost always, you know, it's not my website, it's nothing, it's because their dad or grandpa listens to Tom Martino.
Real quick,
We got to get the younger listeners directly.
I have a call holding for Bonnie as far as like grandkids having a voice in court to get out of a home. But here's one we had last week. You were out of town. I was going to chance trying to get him one. He's a pastor of a church who wanted to know about annulling marriages. Is that something you can speak on if I call him? I didn't want to know about that. So let me try to get him on. If not, yeah.
But it was like for 5 years, whatever, 6 years they were married.
He wanted one.
And I'm only after 5 or 6 years of marriage.
It's tough in Colorado. There's like literally the statute does list like here's the 5 reasons you can get your. It's considering them having the marriage declared invalid, and there's some reasons. If you're not one of those reasons, you don't get it. Doesn't marry if 5-minute marriage. You don't get what Brittany.
That wasn't his question, though. The question was him, the caller,
he's a deacon or
as a preacher or whatever, a pastor.
Yeah.
If he annuls these people's marriage, is that illegal? Divorce.
Oh, I didn't know that.
No, I don't think he said it like that.
I think that's exactly.
No, he said he was trying to help her out. She was a parishioner, and he had been married 6 years.
I'll try, Bonnie. If I don't get him, I'll get him lined up for next week.
I'm going to look up really quick those reasons.
I'm telling you, that's what this guy
I wish
wanted.
common law had like, here's the 5 things you do to create a
lunch.
marriage.
I think I would do lunch on that because I remember thinking, how could he actually?
No, I don't think. I think he was trying to help her, and because she wanted to annul it because he wanted to get some financial stuff out of the marriage. The other guy.
Well, I'm telling you this. I mean, you're married 5 years. I've never heard of an annulment. What happens to all the assets? What happens if I won the fucking lottery?
Exactly.
I want an annulment.
Totally
I mean, it's crazy.
I think annulment can happen after 3 months or something like that. Or
well, what Bonnie's saying is it might be able to happen after X amount of time, even a long time, if it's something in there.
Well,
like what happens if I was already married?
That's well, there. That was I was going to say the exact same thing. You're exactly right.
What happens if I married Suzanne, never told her I was already married in Kansas?
Right.
Could she annul that because I was already married?
Yes.
And then if she did annul it,
it was not legal in the first place.
well, that's fine. But if we've been together 10 years and I acquired a shitload of assets together over that period of time, does the annulment make it to where she doesn't get any of that?
No, it doesn't. Actually, the court can still, even if they find it,
and you'd be the big house.
They can divide the property and alimony and all that stuff.
They can do everything. All right, 303-713-8255. Julie has a question for Bonnie as well. Go ahead, Julie.
Hi, I'm just wondering about my 15 and 12-year-old grandkids who are with their father who have been physically and mentally abused, and if they can speak for themselves if we were to take it to court or get a lawyer
When you say take it to court, you mean to try to get custody?
Yeah, yeah.
Bonnie, at what age do they listen to children, I guess is the question.
Yes.
There's no part of the statute that says kids get to choose. Okay, that's an old wives' tale. But the statute, when the court goes through and decides where the kids should be, one of the factors is what is the desire of the kids. But it's not a factor that's more important than the other factors. So the older the child is, like a 17-year-old, they're going to listen to pretty strongly because at 18 that child can do what that child wants. The younger child was 12, did you say?
Yes.
So the court can listen to that child. The problem is getting the child's wishes to the judge. So the best way, really, that you can do that is, in a case, you hire somebody that's called a CFI, a Child Family Investigator, and that person goes and talks to the parents. They talk to maybe the teacher, and they will absolutely interview the children if they're of sufficient age, and they'll interview the children. That person can tell the judge, here's what the kid said. It's very hard otherwise to, in court, get in the evidence of, you can't just say, well, my son tells me blah, blah, blah. It's
there's been
not
proof
admissible.
in the past that they've been abused with marks on them. They went to the school and found marks on them from him hitting them with a pipe, a plastic pipe.
So why are they still with that? Why didn't?
Exactly.
Did somebody report it to Department of Human Services?
Yes, because the kids reached out to me and sent
So what
me
happened?
pictures.
They did an investigation and they put him in jail? What happened?
I don't know. They kind of monitored them for a while and stuff like that, and now that's it.
Well, you should, if you really feel that strongly, and this is going on. I mean, Bonnie, what's her first step?
Yeah. So is the mom in the picture?
No. And my granddaughter, we're seeing her on Snapchat. She just says things like, "I wish I were dead. I could get out of here," and things like that.
Okay. Well, that might be something different. So they don't live with you at all, right?
No.
So as grandparents, you can't really bring a case that you need to bring. You may be able to talk to an attorney and I'll see who's on maybe Tom's list, that does like guardianships, like an emergency guardianship sort of thing. Because you don't have
so
the kids.
Grandparents truly have no rights.
Grandparents, it's really diluted in Colorado. Normally, if the kids had been living with you, for at least 6 months, then you can bring a case kind of like stepping in mom's place, kind of like that. It's called an intervener. That doesn't apply to you, but the guardianship might be an issue that you could look into.
We'll give Bonnie's number out in a minute. Give her a call. She'll get you a good,
and
good person.
I'll get you a name of somebody that does some guardianship work, okay?
Okay.
All right.
Thanks.
Boy, that sucks. What a situation that would be. Jimmy called last week. Suzanne got him back up. This is an interesting one, is why we wanted this up. Jimmy, you're a pastor, right?
That's correct, yeah.
And you called last week because you have a parishioner that wanted to... Did they already get their marriage annulled?
No, she's trying to find out what her options are. She's been married to this man not quite 7 years. I guess it'll be 7 years in May.
Okay.
And it's not the only abuse.
Forget about all that, though. What was your question? Go right to the question.
Okay. The question is, can a woman who's been married less than 7 years get her marriage annulled?
All right. The time period has nothing to do with anything. In Colorado, to get your marriage annulled, there's certain grounds, and you have to meet one of those grounds or you can't get it. They're really, really limited.
I got to know this, Jimmy. Why the annulment over a divorce? I don't get it. Explain that part of it.
I think she just wants to know whether I think she just wants to know what her options are if annulment is possible.
Okay, but why though? Let's say it is possible, boom, you're annulled. What good would that do compared to going through a divorce?
Maybe from the standpoint of her church.
Well,
okay,
I get that.
It's a faith-based decision. So
yes.
There are reasons in Colorado that you can get it annulled, and the time period, there isn't a time period on that really.
What's one of the reasons?
One of the reasons would be if somebody didn't have the mental capacity to enter in the marriage at the time.
How about if they
And when I said there's no time limits, there's some exceptions to that, so I don't want to make a blanket statement. Another one would be if somebody didn't have the capacity to consummate the marriage and didn't mention that ahead of time. Now, if they mentioned it ahead of time, then that's not a reason any longer.
Got it.
Another one, if somebody was underage at the time and they didn't have the consent, the legal consent at the time. Mm-hmm. The one that I've usually seen them fall under is if one spouse relied upon something fraudulent that the other person said or did. They relied upon that that's kind of a tough one, but it's kind of the catch-all. If somebody just told you a bunch of things that weren't true and they turned out to not be true.
Bonnie, I got a question. So I guess I'm totally confused on annulment. I thought an annulment was pretty much always done by a church, but annulment's also a legal action to where you just undo the marriage.
Right.
So
they
what
undo
is the church part of it? I mean...
the only church part I was talking about is that's her... It sounds like that's her reason, is she would rather be able to say she was never married than I was married and divorced.
Okay, because she'd look bad possibly in that church because she was married and divorced.
And so there are time limits for each one of these different reasons why. For instance, if you found out that your spouse was not... your marriage was never legal in the first place, you have to bring the case within a certain time period after you found out that information.
So that's it. They're either going to fall into those categories or not. I mean, there's not much more to it, right? All right. Robert, you've got a question. Go ahead, Robert.
Yes, I have a question relating to changing a parenting plan. My daughter and grandson, my grandson's in the state of Arizona with my daughter. She has she's the primary custodial parent. The baby daddy has visitation in the summertime and some other visitation over school breaks and whatnot.
Robert, yeah, I'm up against the clock, so speed it up a little.
Okay, so he's incarcerated in Colorado. The original parenting plan went through the courts in Colorado, but she lives in Arizona. And I'm wondering if she should... if she can attempt to change the parenting plan, since he's incarcerated for up to 5 years.
Sure, I think what...
She should do that. Would she
what
do
would
that
be...
through Arizona or Colorado?
She should have the case moved to Arizona. She really should, because then if she needs to change the parenting plan, she doesn't have to travel to Colorado for that. And it really should be in Arizona. That's where you could have the teachers come testify, the doctors, or whatever you need, therapists. It doesn't make sense for it to be in Colorado if she's been gone for a long time. She needs to move this case to Arizona, so she should call an attorney down there. It would be an attorney in Arizona that moves it down there, and then they can help her modify it.
Got it, Robert?
Okay. Yep, thank you.
You know, Bonnie made me think of something. How does it work if one of the parents or the baby daddy or baby mama is incarcerated and someone tries to move a parenting plan out of state or move a kid out of state? Do they lose their rights once they're in the pokey, or how does that work?
No, they get formal notice and everything, so they can sometimes...
How would they possibly get an attorney when they're in jail if they have no money or in prison?
Well, they may not be able to get an attorney.
Okay.
So they may have to show up in court, and they can get permission to be transported sometimes.
All right, listen, any questions you have, Bonnie is with us occasionally, but... here's her phone number if you have any questions or need a great attorney. 303-798-1927. Bonnie Shields, 303-798-1927. Hey, tomorrow's car day. We've got a lot of stuff going. We're going to recap some stuff, have more follow-ups. You know the gig. My name's Mark Major, and this is the Troubleshooter Network.
Are we off the area?
There is no...
We'll be on Facebook.
Tell her when we're off Facebook.
I'll plug this off. Good. Your questions are rapid fire at the end.
Boom, boom, boom.
Where's Tom today? Is he on vacation?
Yeah, he'll be back Monday.
Do you enjoy doing the show?
I love it.